This week's episode of the Realest Podcast Ever is brought to you by Revamped Paintball, Philly's premier indoor paintball facility.
Y'all used to hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Y'all used to hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it.
What up, what up? We back. Realest Podcast Ever. We live on location. We in New York City.
Yes.
Realest Podcast Ever, episode 179. I'm your host, C. Diddy.
Ooh, I'm mad, makes me sick. I actually had to say my name. Damn.
The whole name.
Yeah.
You don't know where this video gonna go.
Yeah.
You never know.
We are on location at WTF Media Studios. Thank y'all for hosting us. We appreciate
Shout out to y'all for accommodating us so quick.
for sure.
Yeah, nice place.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Beautiful place, hiding in plain sight. That's how you got to do it, man. We are sitting next to a very important figure in the history of hip hop. Somebody that is, for fair and equitable representation for all people of color and
Facts.
anybody that he do business with. He's connected on high. He connected down low. He connected all through in the middle. That's how we got him here
Like
today.
it connects.
we fall somewhere in the middle, you know what I mean? And we got him here
I
today.
like to connect.
Shout out to our plug, Vicky,
Yes.
NGTV.
Philly gangster.
For sure.
La madrina of Philly. If you don't know, you need to know.
For sure. Vicky get a lot of stuff done, behind the scenes and
She
front
don't
of the
fuck
scenes.
with no one but gangsters. So I already know who y'all are already. She only fuck with gangsters.
Listen.
We got the one, the only Chris Gotti.
Yes.
Murder
we
Inc.
didn't bring
Records.
our claps with us.
The Inc. Record.
I'm going to give it up for myself.
We gonna give it up for you got this. Murder Inc. Records,
thank
the
you,
Inc.
thank you.
Records, ADD Ventures,
Yeah.
Connected TV.
Yes.
Got a lot of
Flash TV.
Flash TV. Yeah.
And the different ventures. I'm really like a serial entrepreneur at this point in my life. I didn't know how I got here. I didn't go to school. So it's very weird for me when I see where I'm at and things I accomplished. I was actually talking to Vicky downstairs about some of my trials and tribulations that I'm sure I'll expose now.
Right.
Again, that I went through. I mean, this wasn't an easy road. And again, even with my brother, shout out Irv Gotti, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out
to Irv, man.
You know, he's in town today, so I'm going to go be with him later tonight. Shit, he's in from L.A. You know, my mom's called to come back for, it's a big family. It's 8 of us. People don't know how many. It's 8 of us.
I actually read that. It was
Yeah, so when my mother calls to come home, we come home.
Gotta
She's
come
a real
home.
gangster, too.
I mean, that's how it go.
She knows all the secrets.
Yeah.
Right.
If you really wanted to find out what's up with us, you could ask her. She knows everything.
Yeah.
She'll never tell, though.
With that in mind, we got a big audience, global audience. That some are younger, some are older. Some people know the story, some don't. With that being said, we kind of want to, start at the beginning.
Sure.
And just, we just go. We like to jump around,
Yeah,
but
we
let's
all
at least
over the
try to start at the beginning, and then we end up where we end up.
Say less. Let's go.
With that
get to
being
it.
said, talk about Queens, New York.
Y'all from
Hollis,
Hollis. Yeah,
Hollis, Queens.
I rep Hollis, Queens. Again, I was me personally. I was born in Brooklyn, lived in Brooklyn for a few years, but really I was raised Brownsville. Shout out Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? Never ran, never will. Still got family in Brownsville. At the end of the day, I was raised in Hollis, Queens.
Right.
So I only claim Queens. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So Hollis, Queens, we lived a few blocks from, let's say, Russell Simmons, Jam Master Jay, all of those guys, Run DMC, they're right there. So
Right.
from early on in the early 80s, you understand? I'm 54, so it's not like I'm, Jay used to pick me up. I used to hold Jay down at clubs like 1018 and Roxy and, I'm bad with names and all these different clubs he would introduce me. He was the first person in the game that actually looked out for me,
Got it.
that I could actually say did something for me, but he didn't do nothing as far as business is concerned.
Right.
God bless the dead Jam Master Jay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
He didn't do nothing as far as business, but he opened me up to see different things that I probably would have never got to see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because of that. So I give him all that credit for doing
It's
that.
funny you say that because Bimmy
Shout out Bimmy. What's good, boy?
said something similar about how he was just kind of around and he was such good friends with Jay. He was almost afraid to ask him for an opportunity to do something different. And then Jay was like,
We didn't know
What are you
better.
waiting on? Like,
Let me
come
tell you
on.
something. We didn't know any better. That's the facts. You know, I look at all of this stuff today. We have these podcasts that give out all this information. I was talking to Vicky downstairs about that. I said, in all this information that these young kids get to see and hear and take in, I said, they don't need to make the mistakes we made. They're going to make mistakes, but it'll be new mistakes.
Right.
So that's what they should be looking at. I'm not trying to tell you, follow my footsteps, do what I do. Never that. We are all unique individuals. We will do things our way. You know what I'm saying? But they should take at least a time to listen and learn, because that will prevent some of the mistakes we made that they don't have to go through.
Got it.
And that's all it's about. And they need to take their creativity and their ideas in today's times and do it according to that. You know what I'm saying?
Can't do what happened in 91.
No, you can't do it. It's over.
Impossible.
It's over.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Go ahead.
Like, just being from Hollis, Queens, how do y'all view Run DMC and LL? Because I remember years ago, old head,
LL's from Farmers. Shout out LL. What up, boy? He would say that, but he's from Farmers. Like,
he's from Farmers, right?
Again, he's Queens, and again, he was right. That's our neighboring, let's say, blocks is Farmers. It was just Hollis versus everybody. You see them shirts today.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it was Hollis versus everybody. And that's
probably
how
a Hollis versus everybody shirt.
Yeah, and that's how we really conducted ourselves, is Hollis versus everybody. Now, we had some allies, Farmers we could mess with, Murdoch. Wasn't too many other places. Southside was the complete enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was, whether you knew it or not, if you was from Southside, it was on. It was on. It was not about why. And again, we didn't have gangs, but we had blocks. It was the same thing. To me, it's the same thing. It just wasn't a flag, right? It was your block. It was where you from, your hood. And again, and that's what it was. That's my whole adolescent life, was really fighting someone from
because I had a conversation with old head. Yeah, I'm younger, and he was like, we was talking about top 10 rappers, top 15 rappers, and he's like, why you don't got Run in there? Why you don't got Run DMC? And I'm just like,
you know, it's hard. You know, it's hard. It's that. I hate these questions. You know why I hate them? Because, you know, only in our culture we have to pick one.
Right.
Meaning, if I went into a different kind of genre, I don't need to say you're the best. But it's how do you compare errors?
That's what that whole
how do you do it?
Telling me.
Again, even in, you know, it transcends into other things, but we do that as a culture. We do that to ourselves, and that's something that I'm very set against. I don't want it's only an opinion anyway. There's no way to prove it. There's no way to prove it. Now, we could go like numbers. We could use numbers, and if you want to use numbers, then it starts changing again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some of those numbers and milestones that are reached with some of these artists, they may not be your number one, but shit, their numbers say they number one.
Right.
Right. So again, it's very weird. So it's like when you get, how do you ask the pioneers? And that's what they are, the pioneers and the architects of the very infrastructure of big commercialized music. So
like, you don't have crossover without them. Exactly.
Right, they're that pioneer. Then you go back further and you have a different pioneer that just started the rap industry.
Right.
That where do you put them?
Cool Hertz.
You know how many hurdles they had to get through to be that pioneer. Like, when you put it in perspective, it changes, and that's why for me, these conversations are weird. These are barbershop conversations, and it's just conversation. And you know, they always talk about genres of music. Another thing that I'm big on is like, how do I compare best rapper? And you see the Grammys, best rapper or the rap album of the year. How do I fucking compare Eminem to fucking
to Jay-Z,
Ludacris,
to Lil Wayne,
Hey!
Tyler the Creator,
Tyler the Creator. How do you know,
Smoke.
in the other genre, and this is part of the problem that needs to get addressed and fixed, like they did in rock and roll and other genres of music. They made subgenres. So you wouldn't classify them all in the same bunch.
Yeah.
And that is just the facts. We cannot do that.
Somebody said that years ago, we need to have subgenres of hip hop. It makes total sense.
Yeah, it was probably me.
Yeah. Makes total sense, honestly.
You might have heard one of my
Like,
other
sound
interviews.
familiar.
Yeah, I got to that long time now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's really the only way hip hop would truly get its full value. That's why it took so long for us to be known as the most dominant or the biggest genre of music in the world. We've been that.
Yeah.
But
for
they
sure.
never gave it because of these kind of things. That was blocking it. And then they, you know, man, there's so many areas we could go into, and that's
a lot.
things. I mean, that's big.
Specific to Run. There's a Jay-Z line, and I know Hov, your man, who he said on Otis, I invented swag. And I immediately was like, that's a lie. Run invented swag. I remember
man,
that footage.
Shout out Joseph Simmons.
I remember like being a kid and seeing that concert footage where this is my house.
This is my house.
But
is that swag?
That is swag. That's crowd.
I'm just
presence. It's swag.
You know
it's
why?
crowd control.
I'm gonna
everything.
tell you.
Everybody stuck their Adidas in the air.
No, but
I
think that line is different than what you're making it. In my opinion.
Okay.
See, this is again, lines have opinions. You would have to get it from the source. Hove, what up, Hove? You know what I'm saying? In my opinion of that line is he's talking about influence over culture, not just a concert. See, you're talking about a concert performance, swag. He's talking about swag. I made you dress the way you dress.
But so did Run.
Yes. I'm not going to take... Okay, so if you want to do that, not as much as Jay. Let's say that. I'm not taking nothing away from Run, not as much as Jay-Z. You know, what is that, a 4.6? Is that a 4? What's the difference?
No, Jay had a stretch where it was like every year it was like, no, we over here now.
You say a stretch. I don't think it stopped. See, that's the difference.
No. Wayne got it.
We can't get the Richard Mille watches or whatever it may be. Come on, Jay, slow down, man. Talk to the little guys for a minute. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
Jay, like, this the plane y'all need to get.
Look, my conversation to Jay was, you're the one.
Right.
You're Neo.
For sure.
You're fucking Neo, yo. And that comes with a lot of weight when I say that, because if he's the one, there's a lot of responsibility that he has to take care of the masses. He can't think about himself.
Right.
And that's what I told him, and that's the standard he is. I said, you might be the one, but I might be Morpheus, nigga. That's a fact. I find Neos. Right. That's what I do. And I said, I could identify Neo. That's what Morpheus is in the movie. And I said, that's who I am. I could identify Neo.
Yeah, in the face of all
you're the one. And on all levels, when you think who's going to lead us without trying to rob and cheat us, that's the game.
Yeah.
That's the game to really uplift the culture, the people that we're talking about, and to move it where we should own these things, that you could have your own podcast, make your own money, depending on nobody. It's all about you.
And to that point, own it from the door. Like not get in, take a bad deal, go down the line, renegotiate, have a have your fans picketing outside the office.
Free us campaign
t-shirts, and then getting your ownership back, as opposed to let's just do fair business at the table from the door.
Yeah, there's a handful of people out here that's really moving in that capacity, who's really trying to lead us without trying to rob and cheat us. You know what I'm saying? And those are the ones that I endorse, I get behind, I support. You know, when I watch my son, shout out my son and Tamika in the fights they're going through from a civil rights standpoint. Right. It's so needed. We have to stand behind them. We have to support them. No divide and conquer shit. And, you know, sometimes, you know, I made an analogy I took from Leo, but I put my own spin on it. You know what I'm saying? And Leo had once, it was like, you know, trying to break an artist is like pushing a boulder up a hill. You know what I'm saying? And I get it today. Maybe I didn't understand it fully the way he meant it back then.
Yeah.
But today I'm fully aware of what he means. And it's like when you have a leader, he's on that boulder first, right? He's the one pushing, and I didn't say boss, I said a leader. He's pushing that boulder up the hill. And then when he gets his team, he allows your opinions of everything you do. But if he's leading, this is where we're going. He needs all of his soldiers or Indians, if you know, the chiefs in the Indian.
Whatever the hierarchy is.
Right? He needs all of those people to be on that boulder. Put your fucking hand on this boulder and let's push. Because it's that hard to get over the top. Now, again, if you have a different agenda and you don't want to support it, you're not going to put your hands on that rock. You're going to go and do what you want to do. But don't stand with me in front.
Don't be in the way.
You're taking up a space that someone else is going to put their hand on that boulder and push up that hill. And that's what the problem is. We got so many, divide and conquer mechanisms out here. Oh, yeah. Social media is one of the biggest. Absolutely. Sure. Everyone has an opinion. Man, so it's like, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm a hell of a chief, but I'm even a better Indian. So if I have to be a follower and push and support somebody, that's what I do. That agenda, that movement, my hands are on the rock. I'm not taking them off. You don't have to worry about me. Right. I'm here.
You locked in place.
And that to me is the difference. It doesn't mean you only have to be a leader. You could be that Indian. You could be that follower.
I think people don't understand
for the right person. My man De Niro, shout out Don De Niro. He always tells me, he said, Chris, I don't follow anyone, but I will follow you. because he knows I'm not doing no fugazi business with nobody. Money's never been I want to make money. I never did it to try and take it from someone else. So, you know, whenever you hear that word, like, or someone say, I got a good deal, that means someone got a bad deal. You know, there can't be two good deals for the same deal. So someone got a bad deal. You heard me? So at the end of the day, this is all part of what the problems are, like, you know, and it's again taking advantage of the naive, which if I would tie it back into music, that's all we were. That's all we were. And we're in a direction where right now I got a company, Adventure Music, that is for independent artists to push them, to help them learn, own, operate, and monetize their business. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm 30 plus years in the music industry just to get to this point, and I got so much more to go. It's like I'm just trying to give you information and knowledge to move your own business.
Right.
That's all I'm really doing. And then it's like, that shit is expensive.
Yeah. Let's talk about your start in music. And what was kind of the moment?
The original beginning?
The beginning.
I can't tell that story. I would tell you, but the beginning of music was I was a DJ.
You was a DJ?
Again, short.
Yeah, I never.
Short-lived. The true story. And again, I'll tell you the.
Because I'm trying to figure out where the spark comes from.
There's a DJ named Brother B in Hollis that was like the main DJ. I love Brother B. What up? You know what I'm saying? He was one of my musical influences early on. Again, Irv is my little bro. So if I did something, he did something. It was just what it is. So, you know, I took care of Irv in every sense of the word, financially. When back then to like now, he take care of me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But that's a beautiful thing to help someone get to that point that they could do it for you now.
Absolutely.
So I have no ego as far as what I've done or who I am, and it's all good. We still got more to go. But at the end of the day, the way we got equipment, we didn't have no money, but I did do something. Me and my man Nick, my oldest friend is Nick. He's from the hood, you know what I'm saying? 40-something years now. Well, not my oldest, sorry. Kylie's my oldest friend. Nick's my second oldest friend, over 40 plus years. And someone told us, they gave us a line on something.
Right. Did what needed to be done to get what
they gave us a line on something. So I said, we going to do it. So me and Nick, we get our things and we go to do it. We get in this crib, do what we have to do who's in the crib. But the what we there for ain't there. Irv don't even know this story. I never told, this is my little brother. I never put Irv in any situation. I took care of any beefs. I would fight two niggas until Irv watch. Like, it's my little brother. Right. He got older. When he got into high school, he started wanting to get active. But I didn't want him to know any of the things I was doing. Right. This was one of them. He just knew I had equipment. Because I didn't want to go to this crib.
Equipment is the best.
I didn't want to go to this crib, right? I didn't want to go to this crib and come out with nothing. I said, Nick, I ain't leaving here with nothing. And I see the turntables, the speakers. And boom, we got equipment.
Now we a musical fan.
Now I'm DJing and shit. And I would tell, no, but listen, Irv is nice and bald.
Yeah.
Irv is hooping at the time. And when he think he got hoop dreams, he's like, I'm gonna be the best basketball player. I start DJing. He know, like, he would go over to my man Nick's house and scratch on his equipment because Nick had equipment, but his father was a Trini that wasn't playing, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't be on his equipment. You come home and he see anything off, your ass is just fucked up. Right. So we didn't want Nick getting beat up or nothing, so we would be real careful, but I got my own now, and then I would tell Irv, don't be on my shit because someone's going to hear the music and they going to take it. Right. You know, we in the hood, they going to hear it and they coming to get it. And I had it in the yard, in the garage and shit at this time and shit because I moved it to the house inside. But Irv, I would come home and I see all his friends and I'm like, yo, what y'all doing in there? And one day, baby Jay, Jermaine tells me, yo, don't get mad, but your brother's really good. And I'm talking about a short amount of time. Yo. Right. I go rope open the garage. I said, what the fuck you doing in here? I told you stay off my shit. Everyone quiet. All the niggas in there quiet. And then next thing you know, I said, let me see what you got. This nigga started doing everything, man. All the tricks, backspinning, elbows, and handcuffs. Real rap. Yeah. That was the last day I ever DJed. When I seen Irv was that good. Yeah, that's your shit. I would just buy records. I'm gonna go get some change. No, and then what I did is I got him in the park. which is Jamaica Park. If you were from Hollis and you know about Jamaica Park, that was like every night, block party, thousands of people in the park, and Irv became the DJ for the park. So that grew us in Hollis. Then we put together a little rap group. I was managing them.
Yeah.
And him in the group, and I would bring Irv to battle all the DJs. That's how we got to meet Clark Kent and all of them. We went to Union Square. Irv won every fucking battle. The nigga was nice.
I never.
And then,
this is crazy.
and then Irv had to go against, which we never got official. Graham, man, what's his name? It's gonna come to me. I'm so bad, man. I'm sorry. He's Southside. He was Southside DJ. Man, I'm sorry. And this my man. It's just my mind. I'm just thinking. He's the main DJ for Southside.
Got it.
And here's Irv. They got a battle because that's what Brother B would battle, but he was losing to him all the time.
Right.
And then next you know, we got to that point. But Irv, we started getting bigger and bigger, doing more shows, getting money. Irv was DJing at Club Nels, I'm going to say at 17, 16. Like, Irv was nice. He started doing mixtapes, and all the fucking people from all over was coming to get his mixtape. And it was DJ Irv Volume 1.
Was it like blend tapes?
Irv. Yeah, blend tapes.
Yeah.
And Irv would mix all of the... So if you think Ashanti, like that music, that's what he did back then.
Okay.
He would blend hip-hop with the best R&B songs and get the acapella and drop... Nobody beats the beat that doom, and have a singer Leo Hathaway singing, or Leo Hathaway singing on top of that, and it was like, yo, and all the let's call them influential people in the hood, was lining up to come get it. I mean, my moms would see him like, what's going on, and we had to keep them outside, and they coming to get the tape. Once I finished the tape, we pressing up copies, and if you wanted a special copy, like if you was a bigger dude,
what that run you?
A special, 100, 150. You know what I'm saying? For a one of one. Some got costly. Some went up to 500 as he got bigger. But 100 was normal for a special copy that no one else would have. The rest was all...
buying NFTs, didn't even know what was happening.
Yo, you understand? Yo, you understand? Like crazy. And Irv really ran that shit up, and then music just led from one thing to the next. But that's the absolute inception, is when I got that equipment. Because if I don't do that, God works in mysterious ways. If I don't do that, who knows if we ever go into music?
Exactly.
Right. Who knows? I was doing construction at one point. Where that's what I was doing to feed the family and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who knows? Irv went on his own, and then he got going in music and tells me, yo, I need you to come and help me. Which would help was running his production company.
Right.
We didn't have a label. It was a production company, and that's what I did.
So let's talk about Top Dog Production.
That's Top Dog. That's it.
The
original Top Dog. Not the LA. No offense.
Shout out TDE.
No offense, guys, but the first Top Dog was Irv Gotti.
Who was around at that time, artist-wise, other producers, managers, influential people? Who's around? Like, let's try to set the scene for the people for what's going on around.
And what year was this?
Man, I'm so bad with timelines, but we're talking about, if we go into the original, we went into Blunt Records. That's in the mid 90s.
Like 94,
I was going to say 93, 94.
Earlier than that.
Earlier than that?
It's probably like 93, actually.
Yeah.
Probably 93, 92, starting it in Blunt Records with a guy named Mike Geronimo. It might be a little bit later.
Mike Geronimo.
Yeah, shit's real. The crazy part, I was just talking to someone about that. That video I paid for. I got up money, and the way I paid, back then videos was very expensive because you had to buy film.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy who did our video, Hype Williams. Shout out Hype Williams.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We knew Hype forever.
Yeah.
He was working at Ralph McDaniels. He actually was stealing the film for us. And that's how he rented the cameras with the money I gave him, which was 5 racks.
Mm-hmm.
He rented the cameras, but he took all the film because Ralph McDaniels was shooting the Jodeci video.
It's funny, true story, you mentioned Mike Geronimo, 7th grade. I came up here to get sneaks. Me and my mom used to always come up here to get sneakers. We were on a block that was, we might have been on Canal Street.
Probably on Canal.
Long story short, I remember walking down the street and a guy was playing music, mixtapes and shit on the joint. And I heard somebody say, "Cut so sharp, it feel like sensei." And I was like, what the fuck was that? It was Mike, and I got the Mike Geronimo tape when I was up here and shit. But I remember that moment, getting a Mike Geronimo tape.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But that's really when he did that, and man, he found Mike Geronimo at Bayside High School talent show.
Yeah.
For high school.
Damn.
That's where he found him, and he said, "You want to make a record?" Irv's a visionary. I take, again, if what I said is when you're pushing that boulder up that hill, put your hands on the ball. Whether you understand it or not is not the point. It's if you believe in that person
Get
and
back
it's
here
gonna
and
go
push.
there, let's go.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up in a great place, and that's what happened.
So overall, at that time period, how important would you say was Mike Geronimo to helping y'all push y'all vision forward?
And Mike Geronimo was very instrumental because, you know, Mike, we was on a little label called Blunt Records or TVT Records. Guy named Steve Gottlieb didn't understand it. Steve Gottlieb made money in music because of television tunes. He had owned all the cartoon music.
Yeah.
And but other than that, he didn't have no business in this. He didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah, I heard Steve Gottlieb had he had an opportunity to have DMX, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg,
Facts.
9 Inch Nails.
He had
9 Inch Nails. And
Yeah,
it was like
Pitbull,
somebody else. Right,
Pitbull, Little John, all of them is on Blunt. We was part of all of those things.
Yeah.
He had opportunity to have all these people
At the same time.
Yeah, so we brought in the reason.
Jesus.
And Irv, I guess, knew that he couldn't handle certain acts. So then,
So because of Mike Geronimo, he knew Irv was like, we can't win. He doesn't have the power.
Right.
We need a major, and that was Irv went on to be the A&R at Def Jam, an A&R from the owner to an A&R at Def Jam where he could bring in artists, and that's what he did. And that's the next phase to the next start of the story that you're asking about. How did we start? This is what Irv did.
Right.
I wasn't part of that part. I mean, I'm over here getting money in construction. He's over there doing the music. When he gets to A&R and at Def Jam, that's when he says, I need help to build up my production company.
Right.
And when he asked for that help, it was all good. It's like he has a production company, one producer. That's it.
Right.
Little Rob. Shout out Little Rob. Little Rob made fire tracks. Just he didn't make a lot.
Yeah.
So once I got over there and I'm like, okay, I see how I'm getting money. And again, this is all learning.
Right. Right.
I'm leaving construction to come now into a
This
whole
is
new
on the fly.
Yeah. But I'm a student to the game.
Yeah.
Like anything I do, I learn it. That's one thing I'm blessed with. I could learn whatever you do. I could see what you're doing and I could do it. And then I just started asking questions and being quiet and listening to other people. And then I learned the business. And then I was like, Irv, we're never going to get off the ground with just one producer. He's like, what do you mean? At the time, we was getting $5,000 a song, a track.
Right.
I said, I get 20%. That's a stack.
You get a
I'm
grand.
like, I'll never get nowhere, homie.
Yeah. Gonna take a lot of tracks.
You understand? I said, I need a lot. We're getting a lot of requests for music because we just once you started working, your name is out there. So Irv is being requested for a lot of music. Pick the gun up. My man dropped his piece. It's all good. He dropped it. He's all right. It's legal. It's legal. It's legal. You got it? It's all right. Put it away. It's a good thing it was on safe. No mistakes on camera.
Not while we shoot. Don't shoot while we shoot.
Don't shoot while we shoot.
Don't shoot
while we shoot.
That was a fool.
Yeah. But you know, when you get your name out there, Irv had his name out there, and because he's the A&R Def Jam, he's getting all of those artists in that system that he knows their project and they need music.
Right.
But I'm like, look, Rob gave me 4 beats. I sold all 4. I need more.
Yeah.
Right. You just couldn't
need
handle
40 of these.
Yeah.
So I told him, so what I did to him, I said, listen, I'm going to go bring in producers. He said, I don't give a fuck what you do. I ain't taking less than $5,000 a track. And I asked him, can I push the price up? And he said, I don't care what you do. Just don't make it less than 5. And man, in 6 months, I had Irv at $100,000 a track.
Damn.
I brought in producers and we just started going. I remember when we did ODB, and we did 4 songs for Sylvia Rohn at Elektra for ODB. And I bring the check home back to the office and I give it to him. It's $80,000. He said, how many songs? I said 4. So, you know what I'm saying? And this is when we got to 40,000 a track. So
Yeah.
he said, we at 40 now? Because we went from 25 to 40, and that was a big jump. And he was, I said, yeah. He said, don't take less. I'm not taking less. You 40 now for everybody. I was like, yeah, I got you.
Right.
But we went from there, and then we just kept moving, and I just brought in some really dope producers. He brought in producer 7, but I brought in pretty much everyone else.
Right.
And man, the rest is history. Irv in his peak was getting 250,000.
He was getting no
a track.
telling at one point.
You know, there's 10 points that make up an album. I'm a single. 5 points goes to an artist. 5 points goes to the producer. So we was taking 6. We was making the writer give us an extra point. You know, if they wanted an Irv Gotti produced record. And then in some cases we was getting private planes and, you know, all types of perks. All types of perks added on, included on top of that fee.
Question. Y'all, all of this eventually turns into the A&R and the production and all that turns into Murder Inc.
Well, actually, you know, everyone always says, how do you start Murder Inc? And that's how we started. You see, Irv, and I'm going to say Irv did not say, hey, come on, let's go start Murder Inc.
Let's go start a record label.
Not at all. He wanted to be the biggest producer in the game.
Right.
He became that at that moment. You know, Dre is one of his guys that he looks at as he's the best.
Right.
Dr. Dre. Shout out Dre, you know what I'm saying? And man, Dre's iconic, legendary, all of that. And Irv was like, that's who I'm chasing. And when they met and everything, that's the conversation. Dre was giving Irv the compliments and he was giving him, it was like both complimenting of you, like, you the best. No, you the best. You best. But Dre was really giving it up. And then we used to go on tour with Dre and all of that, with all the different shit he was doing, like dope dude, you know what I'm saying? It's sad that how everything ended up moving, but we still got nothing but love and respect for the dude.
Right.
At the end of the day, he's the one in hip hop.
For sure.
And that's Irv's was his goal as a producer. You know, he wanted to be as big, as good as Dr. Dre. You know, if Irv was sitting here, he'll tell you the same thing. It's not a secret, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, like I said, things transpired or whatever. We're still good, but it's not the same.
Right.
You know, because literally he would call us all the time and call and check up and, oh, I'm over here, or, especially with Irv, you know.
Right.
Not as much me. For me, from being a bigger brother, looking at my little brother, seeing all the things he wants, if I feel it. If you understand.
Right. Yeah, it makes total sense.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I feel it like, because damn, I know what it is to him.
Right. You know this is his dream.
I know what he wants. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel it. So it's all good. But at the end of the day, it's nothing. It's all straight. So
through your lens, do you feel like the production or the A&R work was, if one word was more important, or is a combination of both that led to the label?
Combination. Irv was like the goose that laid the golden egg. In that era, Irv is in the Guinness Book to being number one. The longest number one, and it still stands, the longest number one for a producer. And he did it with multiple artists.
Right.
I believe it's 48 weeks out of 52 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
97% of the year.
You know, good. You know what I mean? So if what I want to say with that too is, if anyone in this room was to do that today, understand every label will give you exactly what you want. They will do everything you want them to do. That's the power. Yeah. That's the power he had at that time. Irv was the guy that they called to save their artist's career.
Right.
Give me that hit. We're at Universal, we're at Def Jam. But Sony, we gave Sony a ton of hits. We gave Atlantic a ton of hits. You know what I'm saying? So other record labels, we didn't keep it inside. Irv spread the wealth, let's say, or generosity with the hits. And he's also giving the artist the concept. See, Irv is different. He doesn't just make a beat, which most of these producers just give you the beat and you got to go make the hit.
Yeah.
No, Irv helped you form that hit. He helped you with the idea, which is the most important, if you ask me.
Right.
Then the next important is the wordplay, right? That marriage with music and then, but the idea first and how to cultivate it, because that's actually giving you the words to say. He's helping you form your song, and that's what he did. Man, that's what he did, man. He's one of one.
Yeah.
He's one of one. So what happened, because of that success of being a producer and all of that, Tommy Mottola, I give all the credit to for Murder Inc. Because Tommy Mottola said, I want to buy beats, but he didn't really want to buy beats. He said, I don't want to buy no beats from you. I want to give you a record label.
Mm.
So when Irv comes back to tell us he's going crazy, we got a label. And then we don't have a name for the label. So Ja was doing a mixtape. Here's your proof. I'm telling you, if you want a proof out, everything's fact check. I like to make people understand I'm not capping. It's all truth. So I give a lot of facts.
Like how you threw capping in there.
Yeah,
real.
yeah, this ain't that.
Yeah.
I want you to know if I'm saying it is real, and here you could go check it. So one of the things that I would say is how to check it is Ja Rule's doing a mixtape at the same time. We didn't get a deal, but the deal's on the table.
Okay.
And we didn't sign that or nothing. Then because he got into a bidding war with every label.
Right.
So Tommy Mottola at Sony offered it, then Universal jumps in. Everyone's in. It ended up coming down to Sony and want Universal to see who we go with. But at the time, we don't have a name, and we told Ja, we're in the studio, he's doing a freestyle for Clue, DJ Clue. And we telling Ja, like, say the name so it looked like we know what the fuck we was doing. Like we knew we was going with the label. But he don't mention Murder Inc. He mentioned all the other names that we talked. Lockdown was a we was gonna call it Lockdown Records. That was a choice at the time. I can't remember all the other choices we had, but Lockdown was definitely one of them. And you could hear Rule, it's a lockdown in the record that he did with Clue. And if you put it in timeline, I'm terrible with time, you'll see we didn't have Murder Inc. yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So then Irv is at home watching the Arts and Entertainment Channel. It's Gangster Week, and he sees, Murder Inc., which is Lucky Luciano, Albert Anastasia, those guys. And if they had the Tommy gun, like when it comes on, and and the Notorious Murder Inc., and they made hits, and Irv went fucking crazy.
Yeah,
that's the name.
Yeah.
He said, all I do is fucking make hits. That's the name.
Right.
Nigga went crazy. Look, you can see, I got goosebumps.
Right.
Every time I tell that story, this is real shit.
That's real shit. Yeah.
You see it. Every time I tell a story, it's like, it brings me right there because that's the essence. And it was so bad how they portrayed us like that wasn't really the way it is. And I'm like, my nigga, cut it out.
Yeah.
Gotti's a nickname Jay-Z gave Irv. Irv's real nickname was Magoo. I didn't want Gotti, but I'm his brother. So if he's Gotti, guess who's Gotti too?
The Gotti family.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But Irv's real nickname was Magoo. And Jay was like, I don't like that. I'm going to give you another name. Called him Gotti. Once Jay-Z called him Gotti, everybody called him Gotti, and that's the rest is history. And it's like, that's the facts. Everyone's like, oh, he's infatuated with being a gangster. We all are. We all watch Goodfellas, Godfather. It wasn't that he wants to be, but it made sense from a music. It's the double entendre, which Irv loved. He loved Death Row. If you was a Death Row artist, you was an inmate.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He loved that. Bad boy. Yeah, I'm a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? He loved those double entendre type names. Yeah. So when he found Murder Inc., he was in love with it. One of the worst days, again, was when we made us, Leor and everyone came and said, take murder off the name. It's like, but that's not what it is.
Right.
They just don't understand the culture.
Absolutely.
And at the moment, you don't understand the power. Like, in the moment, we didn't understand. Today, if they did it, it would have been a whole different outcome.
It would have been nothing. Like, you name your record label whatever you want. Kill everybody in this apartment.
You're all dead.
Entertainment. LLC.
You're all dead.
You're all dead records.
And nobody bats an eyelash about it. Like,
you understand? But at
in
that moment, I mean, Leo, Russell, all of them came at us crazy. We're dealing with the feds. We're dealing with a 9-figure business. You know what I'm saying? We're not sitting on, and everyone's saying, just drop it. They said we'll do a funeral procession around the country. And in the coffin, it'll be the word murder. And we're going to kill the word murder. This is the shit.
We're going to kill the word murder.
We're going to WWF this.
No, we had press conference on this shit and everything. Like, you could, again, go Google this shit. Ben Chavis was involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Listen. Shout out to Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, like unbelievable person. I hate that they're blackballing him and not putting him on because he's everything I've ever heard from him is only a positivity, and it's nothing wrong with him saying about him, about our people, and what has been done. And he's talking about it. But, we had the pleasure of going out to Indiana to meet up with him and his family, and I mean, multiple times. Like, again, it's just a lot. All of this was part of the weight of what was going on at that moment.
Right.
And again, we chose to go ahead, kill it. We'll just be the Inc. Records. Today, we're back to Murder Inc. It's no more Inc. Records. It's just Murder Inc. But it was at the moment. It's done in those decisions. And again, you can't take back but it's definitely a regret that I know Irv has at the highest.
It got to be. Just the fact that you got
level.
the goosebumps saying when you came up with Murder Inc. To know that y'all, you got to get that off.
Because that's
for this
special.
bullshit.
When you understand it, again, it wasn't marketed. It wasn't told. The story was never
It was
told.
organic. It was real.
It's not like today. Everything is told. If I had an Instagram, everyone would have knew this shit back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, oh, man, that don't mean nothing. That's what it is. That's where it came from. But
For those that don't know, how big was Murder Inc. at its height? Money generated, units sold, the whole picture.
we was all right. At one time, we had to be the biggest label.
Easily.
Yeah,
At one
for sure.
moment, you know, we had that. So again, and we helped empower the ones that may have took us out.
Right.
Think about that. Rough Riders, Rockefeller, it's all empowered by Irv. Irv helped both of those in a major
Irv was
way.
the
getting them
genesis
started.
of all of it.
East Coast rap, I like to say.
Yeah.
It's like, because it was a moment in time, and no disrespect to Puffy, because he definitely did his numbers with Biggie and Bad Boy, but Suge comes through with Death Row and crushes the numbers, right? And then Puffy's doing numbers, but
They doing 7-8 million.
he ain't doing what he
They
doing.
ain't doing what they
And hold
doing.
on, it was more disrespectful in Irv's opinion, my opinion, because they're doing it well. Interscope, you got Interscope with Death Row, you got Arista Records, you got Jimmy Iovine and Clive Davis. Clive Davis is Whitney Houston. He's pop.
Right.
How's he doing it with Bad Boy? Bigger than Leo Cohen and Russell Simmons at Def Jam,
Right.
the hip hop label.
From New York, the Mecca.
So that was one of Irv's biggest beats with Def Jam when he
Yeah.
first got there. He's like, how are you selling 500,000 units and they selling 5 million? How you letting that label beat you when you
Right.
hip hop? Like, what's wrong here?
Yeah.
And that was really what motivated him to do it and push the whole Def Jam. And he did it.
He did it.
Yeah,
He
Irv
did
did a
it.
lot.
Did it to
man.
death.
His DMX play was really to go against Puffy in a sense. Again,
'Cause Puffy-
brother competition. don't
Puffy
get it
had
fucked up.
first dibs on DMX, right?
Well, he could have,
He
but
could've.
I don't want to,
I know Irv was
I'm
with
gonna
him.
stay out
I know-
of that
I-
mix.
I know
Shout
Irv-
out to D&Y.
I know Irv was with him from the door.
Listen to me. I'm gonna stay out of that because there's a lot of stories that came out after his passing.
Okay.
And again, the reality is reality. I know what really went on, and I know what really happened. And what really happened was me and Irv was literally Irv more than me, picking him up out of a crack house to bring him to studios. I would go there just to give him a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? When Leo tells a story, his mouth is wide shut, right? When he gets his deal or brings him down.
Right.
He got on
He's
two
like
different
freestyling
boots,
with his mouth shut.
and his mouth is wide shut because he got a broken jaw. That's a true story. Why is his mouth wide shut? No one asked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? X was out really robbing people and doing crazy shit, and then he got caught, and that's what was the result of it. And I know for sure, I spoke to people from Rough Riders saying, keep him away from me, I'm gonna kill his ass. And I get that. Don't mean, again, it's families fight. I'm not trying to
Right.
say nothing
Right, absolutely.
against anybody, but families do fight, man. But I do know if Irv doesn't take that initiative to really do what he do, who knows what happens?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I go even deeper because Y started Irv as a producer.
Really?
Real.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, Y from Rough Riders started Irv as a producer. Irv meets him through, I believe, a guy named Chad Elliott, who's a producer to Irv.
Dr.
knew.
Seuss, right?
Yeah. And Chad Elliott. And then Y meets Irv and he sees Irv with Irv and says, you can make beats? Irv lies. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you need beats? I make beats.
Yeah.
He said, all right, I need some tracks for my artists. Irv said, well, I don't have an MPC 2000, I believe it is. I'm bad with all this shit, but I believe it's the 2000. He said, okay, I'm going to buy you one.
Damn.
And that is the beginning of Irv Gotti as a producer.
Right.
Because he bought it one. I come home, and Irv is in the room with the box and the MPT reading the directions. yo, but this is the type of animal you dealing with.
Right. He gonna figure it out.
This nigga had beats, and I promise you that first track he made was hot, and he got it off to Y. The rest is history. He went and got Little Rob, this first producer I said, to help do bass lines, and Irv was tapping out all that shit.
Crazy.
And he got Large Professor, I believe it's Large Professor, to come help him make beats, to show him
The process,
saying?
the technical part.
And that's, man, I'm telling you the story. The rest is history. Irv could tell it better because that's what it is, but I know that's what happened.
Right.
You know, why I bought him that shit. I remember he was scared to death. Like, yo, if I don't make these beats, this is going to feel a way about this.
Irv done a lot.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, I got to make these beats. And that nigga stood in that room, figured it out, and had tracks.
Damn.
And like from zero, like, and had tracks that is sound right. Like when you listen, you're like, okay.
Right. Don't sound like he just made it.
Yeah. It's like, yo, I could hear that.
Yeah.
And man, he just worked his ass off. No one could ever take anything from that man, Irv, man. He did his thing.
Yeah, Irv really's been there and did it. It's crazy. I was watching a Chris Rock show the other day, like old clips.
Yeah.
Jay-Z was on there and he performed Hard Knock Life on the Chris Rock show. Irv was DJing.
Irv was DJing, yeah.
With the kids sitting on the stage.
What most people don't know is Irv used to do all the Jay shows, set him up, DJ for him, the whole thing. Tell him what songs to do, this. That's the beginning.
That's crazy.
That is the essence. And then when they all get bigger, Jay has to get a DJ because Irv's too big to DJ.
Yeah.
Right. He got too many things he's got to do. But when I tell you, shows, every part of the show, songs, man, everything, when Jay was gone, he would give him the order, the lineup, why, how to bring it in. Like, Irv's a visionary.
Right.
Yeah.
If Jay's sitting there, he got to admit to that too. He cannot deny that. I could sit there and tell you, like, Jay would be in my office waiting to see Irv, to talk to him about what am I going to do for this show? What am I going to do for this? And Irv would be the one in my office waiting. Irv's on his way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, and he would sit there, no problem. You know what I'm saying? You lock the door, make sure no one fucking with the nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come in, you need anything? Nah, I'm good. Boom, go back. Just making sure. And yeah, that's, again.
Where does the relationship with Jay start at? Because I know it's a 40-year-old relationship that y'all still
Jazzo, shout out Jazzo, man. That's where it started. So while Irv was at Blunt TVT, Jazzo had a little deal at EMI, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying. You got me going back in my brain. I believe it's
gonna
EMI.
put you to the test today.
Yeah, I believe it's EMI Records at the time. He has a deal. We give one of our boys, Tron, who's a protege under Irv DJing.
Got it.
Irv had a bunch of proteges that he had that was nice. Tron was one of them. He put him with Jazz, so Jazz is out there all over. Irv meets Jay-Z because of Jazz and him. I'm gonna say it was in London. I'm not sure, but I believe it happened in London. He met Jay, and the rest is history. They just never stopped fucking with each other from that day. And he just, Jay would always talk to Irv. Jay's one of the first dudes in the hood that I seen with TVs in the headrest. He come through in that Lex 300. Niggas could never tell me about Jay. Jay was getting money before music. You know what I'm saying? He come through, had his gold teeth, his chains on, all of that shit, them pictures, he did it.
Yeah, that was his shit.
He did it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He come through, we go fuck with him or whatever. Jay is December 4th, I'm July 4th. So we would always say we on our square. You know what I'm saying? That's on that 4.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's like, if you see, that's why he did 4-4-4. He's big on those 4s. Even Beyonce's September 4th. So he ended up with a 4 wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. It's like, it's deep. But those are things that I know for sure. Those 4s mean a lot to Jay. You know what I'm saying? So for those reasons, but
not the 4.0s.
Not the 4.0.
Yeah, no, 4.6.
4.6.
Yeah.
No, it's 6.0. What's that? No, 4.6. 4.6.
Yeah. Fuck with them 4s, but not the 4.0.
Yeah, he didn't fuck with just 4.0.
For those that don't know, if you had to explain, Irv's role versus your role in Murder Inc.
Irv is the leader. As simple as that. Okay, we had cards, business cards, and we kept.
What does your card say?
Underboss.
I like that.
I thought it said consigliere.
No,
not consigliere.
No, consigliere is my lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the.
That was his card set.
Right.
Consigliere is not
I'm the
family. They
underboss.
help
It was
with
boss, underboss. Then it was compo, lieutenants, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. We
That's
had all
dope as fuck.
gangsters.
Yeah,
Instead of titles, this was your title. And like in marketing direct, no, I use the fucking lieutenant. Yeah. It's all marketing. But we didn't get a chance. I promise you, the industry, when we came in there, them corporate America looked at us like we are fucking crazy. Scared. Because you come in my office, and I always had the biggest music. Everyone come in my office because I had the best TV and the most sound.
Right.
And I always had a really big office. And you come in my office and you walk in and you felt the vibe, that energy. rape and pillage on the wall. Not because I'm raping and pillaging, because that's what they doing to us.
Right.
So I'm reminding myself to watch out for the rape and pillage from these guys. And people would see that and take it the wrong way. I had a noose over over my desk. And executives would come and say, is it really that bad? I said, that's not for me, that's for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna put your neck right in there and kids step off the chair. And then that's when I don't fuck with you no more. You know what I'm saying? But it's things that kept me, again, I didn't learn school. I learned how to learn on my own. So I have to keep things that remind me to keep me in the right mindset.
Right,
I don't know if that makes sense, but that's really what I did. I do that to this day. I got all these expressions and sayings for situations to keep me in the right business mind, just for those reasons, you know what I mean? And that's what I did even back then. Like, I just made sure I was in the right mindset, coming into this industry, knowing that every lawyer we dealt with took advantage of us until I got to Ron Sweeney and Brian Robinson. They all robbed us or was giving up our intellectual property to the labels so they knew how to block us.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what every artist, I promise you, every artist is dealing with this shit today. Y'all think y'all got a great lawyer. Until you get your own lawyer that works just for you, you don't have a great lawyer, because that lawyer is in business with multiple artists.
Right.
And that's how they feed their family. So when they go to sit down with that exact same boss, okay, that exact same executive that they got to deal with over and over for all their other artists.
Prosecutors working with judges and shit.
Their other artists, they'll sell out some and they'll get good deals for others.
Right. Now let's go.
So it's like you said,
it's business.
Somebody got a good deal.
Somebody got a
bad deal.
somebody got a
Here
bad
we
deal.
go
And it
again.
comes 360. You said Ron Sweeney was one of the.
Ron Sweeney.
That's the same guy that's suing Lil Wayne.
Well, Ron Sweeney was Lil Wayne's attorney.
Was he his attorney or his manager?
Attorneys, maybe he was doing, again, as an attorney, you probably act, if you bring the deal in, you will act in a manager capacity.
So instead of 6%, you'll take 20.
Something. It wouldn't be 6, it'd probably 3 to 5, probably 5%. I wouldn't go more. Wayne is a huge artist. Shout out Lil Wayne, huge artist. But Ron Sweeney was our attorney first. Ron Sweeney was Eazy-E's attorney. So the reason we go to Ron Sweeney isn't, and we make him, he was at the time head of business affairs for Sony.
Okay.
That's what he was when we took him.
Right.
So I made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
Right.
And he comes in and he brings Brian Robinson, who's at Universal. And the reason I give them the
So
most
were they
credit,
like in-house counsel for y'all?
only us. They
Only
couldn't
y'all,
work
okay.
for us. At that time, they could not work for no other. That was the contingent deal. If you want to come fuck with me.
Right.
And we took that concept from Suge Knight. Okay? Suge Knight had David Kenner. That was his one attorney. But the reason that was so important, and Suge Knight, hold your head, boys. Shout out Suge Knight. The reason Suge Knight was so important, he's probably one of the smartest execs in music.
Bar none.
He's probably the inventor of the 360, way ahead of everyone, which everyone is using today. But they said when he did it, it was unfair. When now every label does it, kind of
It's
crazy.
standard practice now.
Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Same thing they killed him for is what they do today. Is fucking
That's
nuts.
normally the way it goes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then another one of these are like some of the people I learned so much from just watching what they do, not maybe necessarily talking, but understanding their business moves and why. They made the move. Jay Prince, again, super sharp guys, man. These are like they could stand next to any executive and hold their head in music. Period.
I saw something. It might have been like one of these interview series on YouTube or something like that, and they was basically saying like Suge had so much leverage after I guess they did like a soft release for G Thing. He had so much leverage. Jimmy let him pick his deal. Like, what deal do you want? Do you want 80-20 and you do all the marketing, or do you want 50-50 and we split the costs or whatever, and we give you a big budget? Like, he was basically allowed to dictate his terms of how he wanted to operate with
again, that's power. That comes from success, power. And again, just remember, they never thought hip-hop would go this far.
They thought it was a fad.
It was supposed to be.
Yeah.
They never thought it would be where it's at, yet alone being the biggest genre in the world. I don't think there's anything in the world bigger than hip-hop.
Not even close.
No, not even.
I'm talking about religion-wise. I mean, anything. Nothing. I don't think there's nothing bigger.
We talk about it all the time on the show, just what hip-hop means to like.
See, I've been on that time. See, people are on it now, and I've been on this time for, over a decade. But that's why I'm like, you probably heard me say that because that's how, and I'm not trying to brag, it's just I seen it. And it's still going. It's not, we used to tell different marketing people why they should do business with us, to give us a marketing deal or something. And we would tell them our demo is getting younger and older at the same damn time.
I personally can't. At this point, you're seeing every product on the planet.
Everything
marketed.
sold with hip hop.
Yeah. Fast food is called Don't Fumble the Bag.
Everything is our culture.
Shit is nuts.
Yeah,
Like,
but you know what the saddest
everything.
part is? We don't own our culture.
Nuts, right?
That to me is the worst part. So my whole business with Adventures is to get it back. That's what I want. We need to own our culture. And when you understand how to make money on your own, you don't need to go to the next person, or you could do it yourself. And that's why I said I like my connects. Because that's what you need.
Right.
So when you're, to tie it again back into Adventures, if you're a new artist from Boise, Idaho, you're just starting, and what chances do you have to know this information? You can Google whatever you want and get information and knowledge. It's out there.
Yeah.
Some parts are not told.
No, I was gonna say some stuff they gonna withhold. They not gonna
Some
give you
things
all
are
the
not
information.
told, and that's
I
what I'm trying
remember
to tell you.
seeing Daz Dillinger, might have been a YouTube video or IG Live or something, and he was breaking down like all the different ways that like an artist can make money independently. And I'm almost watching it like, why is he giving this information out for free? Like it kind of scared me because he was so specific down to like,
Probably was giving it out for free because when you go through something, most people,
yeah,
and it's weird because, man, it's very weird. For me, I'm gonna use me. If I go through something, I tell it because I don't want you to go through it.
got it.
Most people in the industry, if they was treated bad, they hire someone and treat them worse. It's crazy and say, pay your dues.
Yeah.
Pay your dues.
Sure.
Yeah, they getting a
That
bad
to me
deal.
is the old way of thinking.
Yeah.
And when I
term,
see that, I run away from these guys.
Hurt people, like something like
Because that is so bad. It's like, man, why can't, we're supposed to evolve as a culture, as a people. And that way of thinking, again, of course, I want people to pay their dues, but they don't have to go through what I went through to pay them. They could do it in a new way, more productive way.
Yeah.
Chris, specific to that point, why do you think it is that people just continue to like perpetuate that same cycle where it's like somebody will identify like an artist and they'll know what they got. They'll know like this is the next Lil Wayne or this is the next whatever, and still put them in a bad deal. And then 3, 4, 5 years down the line,
No, they do it on purpose. They know it's the next Lil Wayne, put them in a bad deal because guess what? They got a good deal.
Yeah, I got the good one. Right. I got the good
There
side.
you go.
right?
There you go. They got a good deal. They know what they doing.
Yeah,
They know, and if he turn into Lil Wayne, I'm gonna make this.
right.
So they know what they doing. At the end of the day, they know what they doing. And all these execs, this is what they lived and breathed. I mean, 95, 98% of them, fuck it. 90, maybe even 99.
Yeah.
They all lived. I don't see the ones that came through in our eras that was doing anything other than that.
Right.
How about that? It was probably 99.9%. They all made you go through it because that's what they went through. I won't,
Who would you say? Is,
I got names. I just don't want to expose everybody, man.
No,
They
but
show you what I mean by, because there's some really prominent execs that did this and other people that did it and they're still doing it. And it's like, look, I could show you, but I don't want to expose them. Let them
like
live their life.
like little,
Good luck, God bless.
twos and fews of people have gotten like exposed for other reasons, not necessarily their business practices, but like you got Charlie Walk, they got him up out of here. For
But
some
again, for
other
the sexual, he's on the
Yeah.
Me Too side.
right on the Me Too side.
Man, the Me Too is real. The Me Too is real. It again, meaning these execs abuse their power with women. It's just a fact.
Right.
See, now I would sit there and say I didn't abuse my power, but I definitely had real conversations where they probably did.
Right.
I'm not beating around the bush. If you're an adult, I didn't deal with no minors at all. That's not. I wouldn't even sign a minor. I was just with Lloyd, and he thanked me so much for helping him and doing everything. But I made him wait till he was 18 before I gave him his deal because I said I don't want to deal with a minor.
Yes.
I want you to be of the right age so that when we do this is real business. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's like for a kid, it's even harder, right?
Yeah.
It's not a kid business, honestly. I know the kids is in it, but you always see the stories with the kids. I don't know if you could name one that I don't hear a story about, like that was treated unfairly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're a kid. And then every deal as a minor you could get out of.
Yeah, that would they
Only Disney, only
they
Mickey
had
Mouse, only Mickey Mouse can keep you in the
right.
fucking
They had a
deals.
situation like
they
that.
love the rat.
couple years ago with Lil Pump with at Warner because he was 16 when he signed, and they paid him whatever they paid him at the time, $2 million or whatever the case may be, and then they challenged the deal, went to court, got it ratified, got out of it. They had to pay $8 million to re-sign him.
Facts.
And because of that, they just said what you said, we don't deal in minors no more. They dropped everybody on the label under 18.
It's very hard, and that's the facts. Only, like I said, only Mickey Mouse has the deals. That's why Britney Spears and Timbaland, Justin Timberlake, right? Timberlake. You know what I'm saying? They all was from Mickey Mouse, man, but they had to pay. Mickey Mouse gets all his retribution.
Mickey gonna get that shit.
Shout out Mickey Mouse.
Mickey coming for 7,000%.
He's not. I don't know who his lawyers are. I don't know what types of deals he
Well, you
has.
know that's exclusive legal counsel, whoever it is.
You understand when that man when that mouse puts his shit out, you can't break it, man. That's it. You stuck. If I do it, it's over. I've dealt with mine a few times. It's always ended in a separation.
Yeah.
Not because of bad business, because they get a lawyer in their ear or someone, and then they tell them, you can get out. Get out of here. Go. Please leave me alone.
Right.
I tried. I tried to help. You know what I mean? Good luck, God bless. That's my hell shit.
You brought up Lloyd, and a little while ago, you briefly touched on the transition to the ink. Let's talk about Lloyd and Ashanti in that era of Murder Inc. transitioning into the ink.
What era you want to go into?
Like Ja becoming the absolute.
True.
Like, did y'all know off rip that was gonna happen? Like Ja was gonna go there.
We had a good idea. He was really special. I won't go further than that. Like, to know what level. Again, one of my most like regrets, I'll say, or saddest. It's not a regret because it's not something I could have controlled, but something that the world never got was the experience Ja Rule. In that, like, he was still going.
Mm-hmm.
We go through the federal trial. You got the whole 50 Cent shit, and then a flip that you never seen happen ever. Just happens from being the biggest to being hated and all of this other stuff. Deals with it, gets through it, and just now he's getting it back because I've seen so many people say, "Damn, I'm sorry I didn't fucking keep going with you." Like, and everything he was doing is what you hear today.
Right? Yeah,
So at the end of the day,
how do you think that happened?
Is one of the best artists in hip hop ever, but we didn't get to see the emancipation of it, like the emaceration of it. Like, we didn't get to see it finish.
Did y'all ever get to do any like Ja Rule or Murder Inc. headlining tours?
Yeah, they did headline tour. He did a tour. He did. You know what? He did like one or two headline tours, but not is to the capacity of what it could have been or should have been.
Because it's 2021 now. He's selling out 7,000 and 5,000 now.
He do what they call ample theaters.
Amphitheater.
You know, he'll do a good anywhere between 5 to say even up to 10,000.
Right.
You know, that's his number. Anything,
but consistently for an artist that ain't putting no music out in 18 years or whatever.
Say less. That's what I tell everyone. You can say what you want. Most people, the perception is he's done, and I'm like, man, you just don't understand.
Does he still record music?
He records every day.
Why won't he put music up?
He records a lot. I'll just say that he doesn't put out music. He's gonna start. We just released a couple songs.
Okay.
He did. He released a couple songs. Here's the reality. He's a old school artist.
Right.
Used to the old school way. So there's a lot of fear, insecurity, and I don't have the same rollouts, the same videos, the same financial support that came in with those big rollouts that he's accustomed to.
Right.
The radio promo tours. And I said, you could do it all. You just got to do it different.
Do it different, exactly.
But again, there's every artist has.
Every
artist is the most insecure person you might.
His stage presence is immaculate. He has one of the best live shows in the game,
to this
bar none.
And
he still looks 20 years old.
That too.
It's ridiculous.
He's blessed with good genes. He didn't get fat and out of shape. And when you see some of his artists that are in his same era, they don't look the same.
And on that stage, he wipes the floor with
literally
damn near
he
anybody.
did the AC Boardwalk joint last year, and I'm just like, I'm not sure too many people from that era can still do this. Like, just destroy a crowd, sell out. Like, is wild when you really think about it. And like you said, no new music.
No,
It's all
I'm
back
coming
catalog.
with the old John.
That's crazy. To me, that's the most. That's part of the craziest thing I see is no new music.
Yeah.
Even,
People really flipped on them hits.
even Ashanti with no new music, she kills it.
Yeah.
And you know, she put out music, they just wasn't successful, and he also sees that.
Right.
You know, there's something missing. You know,
Do
what's
you
missing?
think?
You want to tell you what's missing?
Please.
Irv Gotti. I call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
When you have chemistry, you don't break it. I tell that for any business, anything you're doing. If you have chemistry with something, do not break it. Just add on to it, enhance it. Try and make it last as long as it can. That chemistry is everything, especially in music.
Yeah.
And I could go through a list of artists, once they broke chemistry, it was never the same.
Right.
You know, Dr. Dre being the glue. Just think of all the Death Row artists after him and see if their careers was better or worse.
Right.
It's just real. Like Puffy. Think of any of the producers that was making those hit records.
What you say before the start of this? Your mom called, everybody gotta come home.
Gotta come home.
The glue.
But, you know, Irv and Rule is still like that. Irv and Ashanti's not like that. Lloyd and Lloyd is not like that. Like they was. It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Irv is into television and movies and still does music.
I was going to ask
Still
you,
does
did
music.
Irv, is he done with music?
No, he's doing Ricky, our niece, his goddaughter. You know what I'm saying? My sister's real niece. This
Right.
ain't nephew and all of that. Nah, this is my real niece, and she's doing well. You know, he did some stuff with her, and again, he picks and chooses what he wants. People don't realize Irv chose to quit.
Right. Absolutely.
People think he was pushed. No, he chose to quit because Universal, the people he made billions of dollars for, was cooperating against him with the government and was not pushing the music anymore, and he couldn't believe it. The same people he helped and entrusted with confidence, and he realized that they wasn't for him. He's like, he came, he had a meeting. Again, I got proof because there was a bunch of people, my staff was in the meeting. He called a meeting, and he tells everyone, it's over. Yo, that meeting was the illest because what he doesn't realize is after we leave that conference in the meeting, everyone is coming to me. What does this mean?
Yeah.
He kept paying everyone until like for a year and a half.
So the budget ran out?
Yeah, until the budget was gone. He gave everyone the money. So they got their pay. He said, figure something out. I'm not doing this shit no more. And he stepped down and stopped.
Damn.
Now, was this specifically after the whole Lloyd situation?
No, this is Fed shit.
Okay.
This is all during the Fed shit. This is during that time. Lloyd was no problem.
No, about Lloyd not getting the number one.
That was, Lloyd not getting the number one was the beginning of the end.
Okay.
Because that's when he realized, like, we have over 100-something million in audience, and no disrespect to Music Soul Child, but he had like maybe 30, 40 million in audience.
Yeah, that's not supposed
and
to
he beats us out by like 3,000 records.
And y'all had the record with Wayne, the monster.
We have the number one record in the country.
In the universe, it felt
The
like
planet,
the planet. That shit was everywhere.
Yeah.
And then don't we get, and we had all these different things attached to being number one, coming off the trial and everything, coming back, huge story. They're gonna cover this, they're gonna cover that. Because we don't get the number one album, everything was pulled.
Damn.
And I'm pretty sure they was behind it too, but you can't really prove it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they didn't want that. You know, I tell you, Irv's real power with the industry too came with Rule's album 336. We go and make an album in LA. You know, hindsight is 2020. We could put it, when you're in that storm, you don't understand everything at the moment. But we go to LA to make the album. If you think of Vinovet Avicii, the way he sounded, we totally new sound. That's really the birth of the Murder Inc. sound, 336.
Right.
Because they went to LA, fucking with them Bloods, them Crips, and the fucking Booyah Tribe motherfuckers, and all of the Mexican niggas, all of the brown, and we out there going crazy. Up in the hills, letting everyone come. Check your gun at the door. Like the vibe and energy was crazy.
Yeah.
Studio, everybody's coming. Suge's pulling up. Everyone's coming through. And that vibe was crazy. We make this album that we went crazy for out there. Everyone that was coming was like, oh my God, this shit is crazy. Come back to Def Jam, play it for the entire staff, and they laugh. Say, this is shit.
Oh, they didn't. They totally didn't get it.
So Irv, we leave damn near like dogs. We leave that meeting with like our tail between our legs. Like, goddamn, we whack. Like, this shit, we just thought we made something crazy and this shit is over. It's like, And then all I know is that text goes out. Remember LA. And that's our music. I tell all independent artists, believe in yourself. Don't worry about everyone's approval. It takes something to flip it.
Mm-hmm.
You. And when we go back to Leo tells Irv, I'm not giving you no more money except for this shorts. Like, and that's it. And Irv went to work again. Who are you getting behind? Who's that leader? What are they willing to do?
Right.
You see, that's why I said if I choose to get behind somebody, I know they got that same DNA, that moral and principle. Like, what are they willing to do? If they willing to go that far, I'm gonna go with you. Then we gonna die together. And that's what Irv did. Irv told Leo after that, he took that money and said, I'm gonna do it. And Irv went and did. Irv went on campaign after he got the record, and we got them records going crazy.
Now I want to ask, when y'all did the 336 and y'all went and did the thing with Leo and them, did y'all change anything on 336 or just okay? You just
nothing changed because that's what he said. He wanted to give us new money, go back to LA or wherever, go back in the studio and make a new album. Go make a new album.
Go back to Alaska, whatever you mean.
And go make a new album, which we didn't make nothing new. It was exactly how it was. We didn't do nothing. All Irv did was go to work. And again, that's all Irv.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's when you get behind a leader, blind faith, knowing if he's going to go there, I'm going there. Whether you understand it, agree, it doesn't matter when you really supporting something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could get to all of those differences later, those conversations later. At the time, at the in that moment, if that's what we going and you saying that's it, I'm here, I got to do it.
Right.
And that's it. And we all got in it, but Irv did it. And man, got the records to be number one. But what happened in the industry after that is they can't tell us nothing.
Oh, yeah.
You can't tell me shit no more. You just told me to scrap one of your biggest selling albums of all time.
Couple mil just off the gig.
We sold over 3 million out the door. Right now it's close to 7 or 8.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
They say get this shit out of here.
they say get rid of it. But that music, okay, that album set the tone for Murder Inc. sound, which is what made everyone want those type of beats, which made Irv bigger. It made everything go. That sound. They wanted that sound, and that's what, we just started delivering that shit. So, but that was that was like the pivoting moment because now Irv, man, he made all these new relationships with program directors and all the, all the PDs across the country.
Yeah, y'all had to be annihilating radio.
Radio was huge.
Yeah, just
radio.
annihilating.
If you didn't have radio back then, you couldn't sell records.
Right.
Irv owned
Yeah, it was no other way.
Irv is what we call a radio whore. And he if you see him and say, yeah, I heard you a radio whore, he's going to acknowledge and say, yes, absolutely.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we did crazy shit for the radio too, man. That's why, again, Irv had a lot of feelings when they didn't start playing records and supporting.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we did a lot of favors. We didn't charge what we could have charged to do all these shows, and that's how you give favors to radio.
Right. It's trade-offs.
They do their Palapalooza or whatever, Hot 97, and you go and do those stages, and you normally getting $150,000, $250,000, and you say, give me 50 racks. You just saved them a lot of money because they would have paid it.
Mm-hmm.
But they got you now for a discounted price, and they can't say nothing. But it's really, I don't want to say payola, but it's a form, right? It's like you giving them a favor to get the plays, and then when
It's
the plays,
barter system.
Yeah, but if the plays don't come, you just fuck me.
Yeah, now you just asked out.
All right, so that's what we dealt with a lot. There's so much behind the scenes shit that the public don't know and don't understand, and nor do I care to even explain it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not crying about it. It is what it is. We grown men. We deal with it. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Why didn't Murder Inc. 2 happen with Sony?
You mean go there?
Yeah, wasn't y'all supposed to do a separate label at Sony with like Jaz as CEO and Irv was gonna put there was like some loophole.
Man, where'd you get your information from, man? Who sent you? But there was an actual deal. Because there was a moment in time. That's why I say you got to understand, yes, there was an idea. And the idea was Irv was going to rap. He was going to Puff Daddy. He was going to Dr. Dre. Right? These are not real rappers, but they rapped on songs. And one thing I will sit here and tell you, just like Puffy and Dr. Dre, Irv knows how to deliver the words to make you feel them.
Right.
it's weird. If I said he used to do it all the time with other artists that weren't that good, he would take their words and do it better than them. And that's what they didn't understand. That is the art form. But he's a producer. He understands the points of records. He's like, this is where Flex is gonna kill it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
He would know. Right. He would know those parts of the records. That's what he would give Jay. He would do this with all of them. He knew they're gonna cut this part up because he's a DJ, so he understood that part. And really, there's a napkin that I cannot find that I'm trying to, because I wrote it up, that I made Ja and Irv sign. That if he becomes an artist, he is solely Ja's artist. He cannot go anywhere else. It has to be Ja.
That's funny.
So if Ja signed to Irv has to be signed to Ja. And they signed it, and I cannot find that fucking napkin. And I swear to God, I've been looking for that napkin for a minute now. But it's probably somewhere in my folders and files. When the feds took all of that shit. And when they took it back, everything was mixed up.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find it ever since then.
Right.
But I absolutely was looking. We just literally went to the storage to go through some files. And I was going through boxes saying, man,
like, I know it's in here somewhere.
I'm gonna catch it on Humble. Because that to me is fucking crazy right there.
Right.
But in that moment, after they actually further talk, Rule came back to Irv because Irv wanted to do it. There was some records Irv rapped, and
damn,
I'm telling you, Irv would have to say yes. I couldn't. Irv would have to do that. But there's some records that was made that Irv was rapping on, that Ja wrote or Caddy wrote. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Caddy ghost wrote a lot of shit. People, Ty, right? Yeah, Cadillac Ty. He ghost wrote a lot of stuff. But Caddy or Irv, went in, they made the records or whatever. And it's just sitting there. But Ja came back and said, Irv, I don't want you to do that. Fuck that.
Damn.
So Irv was like, if you don't want me to do it, fuck it. But to get deals back then, I could have walked in with a chimpanzee. Niggas like, yeah, this is the hottest motherfucking shit. Where do the hottest chip in Hollis. That's how big Irv was. That's how big he was. Yeah, that's how big Murder Inc. was. That's how any label, they wanted to do business. It was that easy. But Irv would never want to put his name next to something he didn't believe in. And that was what the hardest part is. Right. So all of my boys and all these dudes from all over was always coming with, yo, I got. And then it's not it. Yeah. Irv didn't believe in it. He didn't feel it. Now, Irv, this artist that Irv didn't get that turned into artists, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you got to be passionate about what you're doing.
Absolutely. French Montana used to be in our studio every night. After we finished, I would let him.
They said French was in everybody's studio every night. Like French was just around. French was just a presence.
Yeah,
he was an institution in New York City.
But him and Rick Steele, Rick Steele was one of our producers, so he would come after we finished. They would be in the studio after like 3 to 4. I thought he only did the Cocaine City DVDs, if that's what it was, right?
Yeah, Cocaine City. Yep.
I thought that's all it was. I didn't even know he rapped until one day Rick sends me all his music. I'm like, oh shit, but it's late now. You know what I'm saying? He moving now. You know what I'm saying? Right. I was like, damn, nigga, you didn't say nothing. So, again, a lot of stuff, a lot of different.
Any other notable artists that y'all might have passed on?
I don't want to talk about it.
Is it that bad?
It's not that it's that bad.
Meaning like they blew up that much?
You know what's the crazy part is? I guarantee if Irv was sitting here, he wouldn't even remember.
Okay.
But they came to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one sifting. I would never let everything go. And then I bring it up to Irv, and I'll give you one big artist. A Latin artist. My man Joe. I got proof. Go to Big Joe, New Life. You heard? You know what I'm saying? Brings me Daddy Yankee.
Oh, wow.
And I tell Irv, now they got him like this. They had another big group. Wasis and Yandel. That's a group. These niggas are huge.
They worked with they did the thing. They worked with Nori a lot.
You know Nori's Nori.
I think he broke the reggae talk.
Nori's reggae. Yeah.
He always say nigga Rican.
Yeah,
black and Puerto Rican.
He's black and Puerto Rican. But again, so brings me Daddy Yankee. Talk to him. Boom. I don't know the music. I'm not Latin.
Right.
I don't know but Joe was showing me all the things he's doing, this and that, and he needs a label. And I go to Irv, and Irv looks at me and says, nigga, you ain't Spanish. I said, I know, but he makes his own music. Yeah. He said, but you don't even know what the fuck he's saying. I said, I don't care. Yeah. It's good.
It's moving.
He said, I'm not doing that shit. So he didn't even give a fuck.
Damn.
Shaggy.
Like Jamaican Shaggy?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
Irv is in his lane. Again, when I bring Ashanti, because I bring Ashanti,
Okay.
Irv is like this to me. That's, you ever see the horses? That's the blinkers.
Blinders.
The blinkers, they call them blinkers. They call them, when we put the blinkers on, you can't see. Irv's like, nigga, I get money with Ja Rule. What the fuck are you talking
We
about?
going to LA, make an album, nigga. Yeah.
Damn.
You understand? And he's
Yeah.
focused though.
Yeah.
That's that tunnel vision. So it's like,
So what?
this is what people have to understand when they trying to bring art. So see, I get to see both sides and I understand both sides. Meaning I understand Irv missing things and not seeing things. He's focused.
Yeah.
He's not thinking about nothing else. And there's nothing wrong with it. This is absolutely the best shit. That's how you win. You need that dedication and focus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when people from the out, oh man, they fronting and no, nigga, we busy, nigga. This is where we get money. So when someone takes their time out to try and get money with you, respect it.
Right.
Understand that you're at whatever level it is at that moment is zero. You don't bring me no money. It's all a bet. I'm gambling on your ass, nigga.
Right.
Respect that.
Right.
And that's what I tell niggas. See, I give it up straight. Niggas is not going to come at me. And believe me, I got into it with a lot of niggas because they thought we should do things. All right, well, get your gun. Let's go in the parking lot, nigga. That's what we going to do.
Yeah.
Because this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Hinchman, who's my man, afterwards we became cool. But when he first came, he used to be like, I want to talk to Irv. And I said, you can't talk to Irv. What you want to talk to me? Tell me, I'll tell Irv and I'll get to him. Because I don't want Irv to be disrupted in his focus.
Right.
We trying to get this money. And Jimmy would get mad. And okay, the parking lot, and we gonna see what happened, nigga. I would tell him, I am Irv, nigga. What's wrong with you?
Right.
But you know, at that era, we was dealing with pressure all over the place. Every city across the country, yo. If niggas don't understand that, that's what it was. Hip hop wasn't as big as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
We dealt with mom and pop hip hop, which is all drug dealers in every city.
Paper
USA.
bags.
Yeah.
There you go. Niggas is picking you up in your Honda Civic. That's your car service.
Yeah.
You know, you would you need pickup from the airport transportation. Nigga pull up in the Honda Civic. Come on, we good. Nigga got guns in the car and everything. Like, you like, damn, I'm going to jail just to do this concert for you. That's what we dealt with.
Yeah.
And that era. And that's the reason where any artist in that era can never front on niggas. Because we dealt with everyone where they wouldn't.
Right.
I was in every city, real time, on the ground. See, that's the difference. Whenever niggas want to talk they shit, like, yeah, go ahead, talk to me. Because you was with police, you was with security. No, I was with my niggas in they cities, dealt with it, whichever way it came. But they would take it, you know, you fly into a city, they picking you up. They looking at your jewelry. They taking inventory.
Right.
They know how much money they sent you, but they paying you in cash the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So they know you're going to have at least that on you.
Right.
They know what hotel you staying at. That you stuck.
Yeah. Let this show
What Jay say?
Let this show not go right.
A one-horse town? Come on now. That's what we dealing with. You in my city in a one-horse town, nigga.
Yeah.
Where you going? I got you. You know.
Flights leave out of here twice a week.
That's fact.
You here till Wednesday.
You here till Wednesday, nigga, whether you like it or not.
You know, hip-hop today is in every club. It's corporate. It's business.
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
No, the business was I would literally be coming off tour with fucking $1 million, $2 million in cash.
Damn.
Duffled up. Come to the office. You know, the Fed said, oh, bags were coming. Yeah, it was. I'm not lying.
Yeah, we doing 200 a show.
I said, we doing all these shows and we get the second half in cash.
Right.
All of that money's getting accounted for and put in the bank. Here you go, motherfucker, there. So it's like they didn't believe you would do that. We did that. That's why I'm sitting here. You know what I'm saying? Because I really kept records of all of those things with my account.
When the whole thing happened at the office, were y'all actually there?
No, they come in 6 in the morning, strategic.
Okay.
They knocked on our door at 7.
Because y'all turned yourselves in. Right?
Yeah, because we got money.
Yeah.
You know, hood niggas didn't get
Organize and surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hood niggas don't get that offer.
Yeah.
We got that offer. They're gonna treat us with a little different respect. But at the end of the day, we went in. It was all staged to come out. Like they told us where to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
We had our lawyers there, so we turned in and basically had to turn over whatever property or whatever we need in cash so we could get back out on bail.
Right.
So really, it was just fingerprinting, and you go in for a couple hours, sitting down, you get a fucking cheese and bologna sandwich, and something to drink.
Yeah.
You out. You know, you was out. It was, but we're out on bail. It's not like it was a whole different. And then they tell you you're under investigation, which was the worst part to me because I was ignorant in understanding what does that mean. I'm not arrested. I'm not charged with nothing, but I'm under investigation. That means they're watching you.
Right.
Okay, watch me.
But
I didn't know it would
so
cost me
how
money to
bad
pay for the lawyers.
How bad was the like initial you're under investigation pending charges period versus what they actually ended up charging y'all for? How different was
20 charges?
Originally?
No, 22 down to 2.
22 down to 2.
And the 2 was
money laundering,
and conspiracy.
and
Right?
conspiracy to money laundering. Yeah. Once they throw that word conspiracy on there, you got a hell of a fight.
Yeah, because they could just literally do anything.
We're conspiring right now.
We're conspiring to
Right.
put a podcast out. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully that's all it is.
Dan dropping guns and shit.
My man dropping hammers and shit. The fuck? The realest podcast for real.
Too real.
Yo.
Yeah, but it's, I don't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
That's a fact. What we went through, and people don't understand. So just think that under investigation for basically 3 years. 3.5. It was almost a 4-year process just to get finished.
Damn.
Now during this process, the officers were like down.
Well, they took all your records. So when they go to the office, they take your computers, they take all your files, your folders, hard drives, everything.
So they just looking for any modicum of crime that they can find.
Yeah,
anywhere they can
found
find
in one of the offices a gun. In my man Dex Diamond, he was my head marketing guy. They found a gun, but he deals with street teamers.
Mm-hmm.
So hundreds of street teamers.
Yeah.
It could have been any one of theirs, but he had to take it. I had to put up $1 million for him to get him out, get a lawyer for him 50 plus another, I think it was like another 75. So, you know what I'm saying? It was like real money just flying out the door.
I think
for nothing.
Yeah,
for nothing,
I think a underrated part of all of what went on is
We
the
paid
fact
for
that y'all
everyone
paid for
involved.
everything.
We paid for everyone involved. I was just telling Vicky, I have no problem at that moment. In that day, I lost all my money. Only thing I still kept was my houses. Irv made a lot more money than me in music as a producer and everything. But all my money was spent in the trial. All the money I had was spent. I still owned my homes and stuff, but I didn't have no more cash to pay for lawyers and all of these private investigators and. Man, what's publicists? I didn't know I had to get a publicist to protect, which they didn't.
To fight a case, right?
Yeah, because it's all strategic, and we have publicists because the government has unlimited funds and unlimited ink. So all of these, daily news is really not the feds, but it's the police department. The Post is a Fed paper. The Times is a Fed paper, and that goes across the country in every state and city. They have their Fed paper. Or their precinct paper, you know what I mean? That unlimited ink, and then they're just slandering us, and we
every
had
day
to try and combat it. We got this guy who's supposed to be the best. This guy Howard Rubenstein, who did absolutely nothing, fucking piece of shit, except for bill of $75,000 a month.
Damn.
Jeez.
So was he supposed to maybe be like a fixer? PR, like a Olivia Pope
He said
type
when we met him,
person?
look, we interviewed everybody. I did. I interviewed everyone. I went there, met him, talked to him. Oh, we could block things. We have relationships. You can't block nothing. You just, again, he stole that $75,000 for what, about 8 months.
Ooh, that's ugly.
And then I had to get rid of him and get another one that was maybe more proactive, but still couldn't stop. But he was way less, and we understood he couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
He would tell us like, man, it can't. This is all how this game works.
Right.
Yeah, I learned so much from a legal defense standpoint. You could hire me as a consultant if you're in trouble, and I'll tell you what you need to do to protect yourself. I believe there's probably a real business for that.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I'm making a joke of it, but it's probably a real business for that because I learned how they move, and you have to.
Oh no, there is a real business. Yeah.
And you have to trust your lawyer. Jerry Shargell, best lawyer in the world. That's who I had. Irv had Jerry Lefcourt, second best lawyer in the world. He fought for the Black Panthers left court. Like he got Tupac's mother off.
Damn.
In her case and some other shit. So he's already, again, both Jewish lawyers, but monsters. Shargell used to represent the real John Gotti. And they made him leave John Gotti because he was so good.
He was too good.
Yeah, I saw that.
We can't beat you with him.
Yeah,
So you got to get a new.
How about
lawyer.
that? The government made you get rid of someone that could protect you. So fortunately, when we had him, everyone was like, how could you afford him? That's what they was asking.
Yeah.
And when I met with him, the reason I hired him is because he didn't talk money. That's the reason I hired him. I go and meet him. I interviewed all the biggest attorneys, legal attorneys. Ted Wells, big black attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he comes, we walk in his office, you see his beautiful office and everything. He's like, yeah, my retainer is $3 million. Retainer. I said, well, if I'm in your office, I must have the money to pay you. Let's talk about my case and what we could do to stop them from fucking doing what they're doing.
Right.
And then everyone else, Brown, I can't, but all of the biggest, Alex Derkowitz, all of these fucking criminal lawyers, all of them, $2 million was the cheapest, and Shargell wasn't any less expensive, but when I went in there, he talked legal
shit, yeah.
And for me, that was everything. I told Irv had left court like this because he's a friend of the family. We knew him. So left court, Irv was like, I got my lawyer, you need to get yours. Yeah. And I'm searching. And then when I told Irv, I got my lawyer. He said, who? Shargell. Shargell, they called him the Superman of the courtroom. That's how the judge on our case was quoting Shargell. Legal cases,
like legal precedent, and the judge is quoting your attorney.
If he said it,
it's
good. I'm gonna go on the record and say if Shargell said it, it's okay.
Damn,
that's strong shit. The prosecutors was pissed.
Y'all started off with 20 and it went down to 2.
Just 2 charges.
So did they like just throw them out?
Yeah, that goes in motion. So,
okay.
And when you're in motions is to see what's going to be admitted as evidence or what's going to be used to be charged against you.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through the motions and killed it in motions, and they had to knock off all these fake charges. They had us charged with everything you could think of. Drugs, fucking, like, we're doing records. What is wrong with you fuckers? I said, you're the government. Y'all know. See, crazy part of the story is I would go there suited up.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see every part so I could help my lawyer.
Right.
He would tell me, he said, Chris, you make the snowballs, I throw them. I didn't understand until we got in it. I understand. That's why you got to trust your lawyer. You have to have a lawyer that you know is down with you. Now, I went on my gut. I'm a gut guy. Me and Shargell hit it off. I spent a lot of time with him, and I just started understanding so I could give him all the transparency because that's the only way he's going to be able to protect you. And once I told him all the stories, and they're talking these charges, he knew how to get rid of them. Boom. They're just disappearing.
Right.
Charge after charge. Throw that out. That's no good. And they stuck with money laundering conspiracy, which was the stupidest charges.
Because they knew where the money
came from. But their whole case was
right?
frivolous. Of course, I was gambling at the time over $1 million a week. No one's going to be money laundering $1 million because that's what it was for, $1 million. And I'm going to go to the casinos and gambling. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
It doesn't make no fucking sense. Tell me I was money laundering. I was paying more than that in taxes. So please tell me that I'm fucking money laundering $100 million, $200.
Right.
Do you think the Preem movie had anything to do with it?
Of course it has something to do with it. Crime Partners. Crime Partners comes out first week, does over $4 million. You know what that means? Kenneth Supreme McGriff is now
legitimate funding.
He had legitimate funding. He got $1 million from Universal for the soundtrack.
For the soundtrack, yeah, right. Yeah.
But this is now even more so.
Yeah, so now you got $5 million extra. We're locking all you motherfuckers.
They confiscated $500,000 out of his account from the soundtrack.
Off the rip.
Yeah, and then they took all the proceeds from the movie and said if anyone claims it, because we have real contracts. Not just us, Jay-Z, Jay and Dame, Rough Riders, Snoop Dogg, Ice-T, and us. We all funded the movie. Wow. It wasn't just us. We all put in money to the movie. Contracts. We own this percentage.
Right. And then y'all went to Lior and said, you need to buy this because he has other offers.
We told Lior, again, it's business. I don't want to make it anything other than what it was. It was business. He had Snoop Dogg, Ice-T, Jay-Z, Charlie Baltimore, Ja Rule, and a couple of DMX and a couple more prominent name. He could have took that soundtrack at that time to any label.
Yeah.
So all Irv said is, why are you going to let our artists that are with us be unprotected at Sony or another label. You should do the deal. And Leo's not no gun to his head. Leo's like, you right. And put a deal that he put on the table.
Yeah.
Irv didn't say, yo, Irv sold it to him in the sense of, look at all the names, listen to the soundtrack.
Right.
The
That's a Def Jam soundtrack.
It's gonna go.
Yeah.
It's gonna go. Yeah. He's got the rights to all these songs. It's business. So it's like it's so full of shit when all of them ran from that. But the facts are the facts. Don't change the fact. At the time, it's gonna go.
Right.
Yeah, it don't seem like the times necessarily made sense. For like if y'all were money laundering.
I think it's a bigger picture with why they came to us. It wasn't about that. They know the government knows everything.
Yeah, because Preem's run was.
Hold on. I went through over 60. I don't want to say every one of them, but they gave me over 60,000. You know, they got to submit their evidence
Right.
of recorded conversations they had on us. They had all of our SkyTel two-way pages, but the SkyTel only saves like 2 lines. So if it was a long, you wouldn't see all of it. You only seen the first 2 lines.
Right.
Again, the government knows everything. There's nothing that wasn't disclosed in any of that shit that they would know we wasn't doing nothing wrong. Nothing. They just wanted to interpret it their way for their own agenda.
Right.
So, for instance, my daughter's name is Crystal. They telling me, oh, we're partying because this just happened with Crystal for her party, and you know what I'm saying? And thinking it's Crystal.
Yeah.
They're thinking it's
I thought they had you on the Heisenberg thing with crystal meth. Yeah.
No, they're thinking we're partying because something just happened, right? And they're trying to make it tie together. I'm like, that's my daughter's name.
Yeah, we got a
The 500. We used to have 500 S500s, the
yeah.
Benzes. So we telling Preems like, yo, I want to come pick up a car. And again, if they knew anything about Preem, they would have knew Preem didn't have the funds like he did before he went.
That's
to
more
jail.
so what I was saying. The timeline doesn't
He's
necessarily
in the Texas. Yo, let me get $100. Let me get $500.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
He was living in hotels, which they got this dude John Reagan, another snitch nigga, that was swiping hotel rooms, that was getting Preem hotels. So Preem was moving from hotel to hotel to.
Preem was basically just moving off his
He
name.
was moving. When he came home, most of the people he's dealt with that I know of was either dead or in jail.
Right.
What he got left? Like, we was the blessing, and he didn't come to us like, yo, help me. He said, can you make a movie? And we did. We helped him with making the movie with him, which was Crime Party. That's the first thing he told Irv when he first met him. Can you make a movie? Irv was shooting at the time, Get the Fortune, Fuck the Fame with Cash Money Click on the South Side, which, you know, we're from Hollis.
Right.
So Irv didn't want to really shoot over there, but BJ, he used to fuck with Preem, so he's like, good. And then Black Just was my man, who was one of Preem's lieutenants, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But Irv was nervous because he's like, yo, I'm about to meet Preem. That's the king of South Side.
right.
Yeah, so y'all didn't even know him. That's crazy.
Not only do we not know him, when I used to be out in clubs, Encore, the Mirage, and Preem would come in, I'd leave because I didn't want to get into it with the king of Southside.
Right.
Yeah, because y'all didn't fuck with Southside.
Exactly, and I
Right.
know it's going to go down. So if he was coming in, I would be gone. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And then we end up coming, when we got cool, all my niggas from Hollis was like, how you fucking with him? I said, man, the nigga's a good nigga. He's cool. He ain't on no bullshit. What's the problem? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At the time, I'm older now. I'm not that young kid that was just fighting everywhere. You Southside, ah! I'm not that nigga no more.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, this is what it is. It's like, and then he came to us on nothing but good
So they
shit.
saw the Texas of Preem asking
Everything.
for bread, and still, that's nuts, yo.
Nah,
And it's
sad.
it's
It's
crazy
sad,
that
yeah.
you
know,
say that.
It's sad. They took away a 9-figure business from me and my brother.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what they did.
And it's crazy that you telling us this, Chris, because we got a friend that's a catastrophic injury attorney, and he talks to us about legal precedent. He's worked in every sector of law you can. He said that feds are allowed to go into court and infer and basically make what they want to make it out of something in terms of like, we assess the situation and this is what we think, and federal judges take their word as law.
That's law. That's what they did. And we had proof from I investigated everyone around us. All my boys, I told them, if y'all dirty, it's coming out. Meaning if you telling,
Yeah.
Right.
we gonna know. 2 people we found out. The rest was,
Everybody
and
was
I'm not
solid.
talking about just New York, all over the country. I mean, we're talking about a lot of people. 2 people solid.
All
I
in
mean, 2
all,
people was dirty. The rest was all solid. End of the day,
What did that legal defense cost y'all for everybody?
Oh, this was over $14 million.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, it's a lot of shit, man. All good. You know what I'm saying? It's, I'm here. That's the main blessing. The blessing from it is we right here. You can't take away the knowledge. You can't take away the information. The money will make it all back in tenfold. It's not even a question.
At any point during this, before it got to like the not guilty verdict, did they come to y'all with any type of weird deal or anything?
Oh yeah, they broke all guidelines for deals for the federal system in the Southern District. Their first offer, we're facing 20 years. The first offer was a year apiece, and we go in 1 year, and then Irv could go in 1 year.
Oh, like 1-on-1.
So one of us is always home. You understand? To run the business. That's what they said.
Yeah.
They just remember they're 98%. This is why they're 98%. I guarantee if I had 1,000 people, everyone's taking a deal. All 1,000. I don't know why we're not part of that, but I'm not taking nothing. Irv was like, I'm not taking nothing. All they wanted was us to tell on Preem. See, that's the part that the public don't know.
Right.
Their offer always said,
we'll give you this, but you got to tell on Preem.
It's not just take the deal and that's it. Here's what you got to give us. I'm like, there's nothing to tell. I told you everything. They came back with another offer, 6 months. They come back one last time. And this is a true story again. No jail time, probation only. And I told them, give me a fucking date and stop playing. I told my lawyer, like, well, if this is the room,
let's go to trial.
I tell my lawyer, I said, listen, just get the fucking date. Tell these fuckers stop playing.
Yeah. 20 years on the table.
Hey, they're looking like
to 6 months.
Shot.
To no time.
To zero time.
He said 0 time,
you gotta
but
tell.
you got to tell on Preem.
You got to tell.
Yeah, I don't have nothing to tell y'all.
There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, cool.
And everyone was nervous thinking we're going to, I guarantee if the odds was up in the casino, man, we was a big underdog.
Nobody's taking that future.
What? Yeah. These niggas breaking. Wrong. They just don't know. People don't know you. They just think they know you because they see stuff, but they don't know what I'm built on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's never even an option. It wasn't even an option. It was never a thought. My man, Short Man, I don't want to talk about it, but he was locked up. And he would call me and tell me, again, none of this shit is emotional, because he would tell me, yo, whatever you do, take care of my family. Because they was putting the pressure on him while he's locked up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Putting the pressure on my nigga. That nigga held the weight. No problem. I said, I got you. But that's what they was doing to anyone that was incarcerated, that they thought we fucked with. Again, the people they brought on the stand, I don't know these niggas. They fooled you, nigga.
That's the part with me. It's like, all right, so they had, witnesses and shit who testified for the prosecution. It's just like, what were they?
Okay, so here's the reality. Preem was a kingpin.
Right.
That's the fact.
No rap about it.
So there's people inside that Preem talked to. I don't know these niggas. They never crossed me. I said, tell them if they know me, tell me, give them something to, like that. If you know someone, you would tell them what's my real name. They don't even know. They don't even know my name.
Yeah.
They think it's Gotti. You don't know me, nigga. How you do? What's my daughter's name? What's my son's name? Give me something that any casual person that really knows you would know about. They have nothing to say. They don't know anything. And I told my lawyer, I made sure they understood. I don't know them. They would show pictures. Man, pictures is deadly, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's one time I seen all these pictures, and I'm like, fuck.
You start thinking, maybe we did
I'm in
do
jail.
it. Wait a minute.
But as a celebrity, I'm somewhat of a celebrity. I don't like that thing, but yeah, I know I'm someone people want to take a picture with. You take a picture, and next thing you find out this is a kingpin from over here.
You didn't even know he ran Tennessee,
but they made it look in court.
Yeah.
This is who he knew, and they telling you they whole bio and discography of all they work.
And look at the shit again.
Their full discography.
96, he dropped this
Here, this one is here, and he's from over here, and look what he did. I'm like, God damn, I knew all these niggas. I need to get back in touch. That's what he do. But no, it made you look crazy. I remember my sisters one time, Angie, she was in the courtroom. She was like, give him all these pictures. She was trying to send family pictures.
Right. The counteract the other bitch.
You can give it to merry-go-round. Like,
And my lawyer's like, don't worry about it. This is nothing. But she was like, no, that's not my brother. It was crazy, though. It was crazy because they put you, again, what's that? A picture says 1,000 words. I mean, it was like, wow.
Right.
Like I can see if you don't know anything, how it looks.
You could draw.
We're talking about 12 people now.
You can pretty much draw whatever conclusion you want.
Exactly. I'm like, man, this shit was crazy.
That's wild.
But yeah, that was a rough time. But I never honestly, no bullshit. Again, I'm not acting like I'm at peace with God. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, my faith and my strength with God is unbreakable. So I never thought he was gonna do that to me. As weird as that might sound, I was only really nervous one time in the trial, and I'll tell you when. It was when you go through its deliberation where they're in there going over all the notes, the jury, and they got to come out before the verdict. Mm-hmm. So when we only have 2 charges,
right? They
send a note out. That's what they do. If they have a question on the legality of what does something mean, and the lawyers, both prosecutor and defense attorneys, have to agree on the interpretation
that's going to go back in
the note that goes back in the room.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it was about money laundering. It's about conspiracy, right? The conspiracy part. And they asked about it, and I'm like,
they asked, what is conspiracy?
Or what are the terms?
Yeah, what are the terms under conspiracy? I'm like, motherfuckers is trying to get us on the loophole. And the reason I say get us is because the first charge, they have to go in order of charges.
Yeah, the most serious.
So the first charge is money laundering. Well, if I money laundering, conspiracy is a given. That means if I'm found guilty on money laundering, they had to have me guilty for conspiracy. So they already said, no, we're not guilty. This is what we're talking like. I processed right away. That means they say not guilty to money laundering.
Almost like we're not even worried about that. But what about this?
No, but they have to go in order. So that means they had to all come to a conclusion on the first charge. So money laundering is already off the table.
Right.
And they're talking conspiracy. And I go crazy. My lawyer had to calm me down. I was like, this is some bullshit. After they sent the note back in. Like, this is some bullshit. They trying to get us on. How are they going to make us not guilty? Because we all conferred that, yes, we had to beat that charge already. Because they would have absolutely made us guilty on conspiracy.
Right.
Can't do something without conspiracy.
I went out in the hallway and I just talked to God for maybe a good 40 minutes.
Got it together.
In a little circle, maybe less than 8 feet, just circling around like this and talked to God and then came back. That was the only time. People used to see me out during the trial. We're in the front page and they'd be like, what are you doing out? I'm like, what do you want me to do? Be in a hole, motherfucker? God damn. I'm out partying. People staring at you. And, it was crazy. The vibe you got, it was really crazy. Like, you knew because you're on the front page of the Daily News, the Post, the Times, business section. It's like, and the articles was terrible. Yeah. I still got probably most of them. I got them all, mostly all of them. So when we do the movie, we'll have full proof of all of this shit.
We need some screening passes.
Yeah.
Now, the day of the actual not guilty verdict, y'all hear it. Mm-hmm. What's your initial thought in it?
Man, and again, that shit was crazy. So we stand in, we're hoping the verdict comes in. It's Friday. Last day. We don't want to go to the weekend because the thought process, again, that's why I could be a consultant to anyone that's in trouble.
I know what you're about to say.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't want them to go over the weekend and have more time to think about it, read something negative or whatever.
Because y'all jury wasn't sequestered.
No.
Yeah.
So we didn't want them to have more time to think about something. We was like, no, Let's need this shit now.
Yeah.
But it's not up to us. The courtroom ends at 5 o'clock. It's literally 4:57. We're like, fuck, it's gonna go to the next day. And then when that clerk hits that door, all rise. We like, that means they got the verdict. They got a verdict. Just like in real TV, the courtroom, that chitter chat, that little murmur you hear, that's all you heard. Our court, they said they never seen nothing like, because we had the room full. and they had to give us another room with a TV for all the people that came to see and support.
Oh shit!
And they didn't want all our supporters in the room, so we had you usually have one side is prosecutor, one side is defense. Our whole defense was on both sides basically, and they had to allow it because prosecutors didn't have but a couple like writers, journalists, and stuff like that. But man, that day was fucking, again, I'll never forget that day. Like, that was so big. I'll never forget my mother. I thought she was going to have a heart attack when they said not guilty because she just started going, I'm like, Ma, I didn't give a fuck no more. I'm like, yo, Ma, calm down. Because she couldn't stop. And I mean, it lasted a long time. And I was like, yo, calm down. You know what I'm saying? But when that first one, they did Irv first, not guilty, both charges. You know what I'm saying? He looked at me like, good luck, nigga. He said, I'm good. Hope you good too. Oh, man. Yeah, that's another, but I told the prosecutors when that knock came on the door, I said, y'all took over 3 years of my life. I get my shit back today.
Right.
She got scared. She turned around. Pat Carol Picorni, she's a defense attorney now. She's not.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah,
they try to make high-profile cases on that side and then go private.
But it's sad because as a human being, they talk like they know me. They talk like they knew. The prosecutor.
They thought they had it all figured out.
I think his name was Chris Herron, and they interviewed him before that day. And he comes in, he said, "Yeah, it's a good day for conviction," and all of he talking all this shit.
Talking spicy.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, damn, they act like they really know me. The judge during motion hearings said, again, I'm in a suit. So they don't realize it's me. They think I'm like working with the lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like his legal aid or something. Not legal aid, but what's that called? Like,
paralegal.
Paralegal. Yeah. They think I'm his paralegal. I'm suited up. Irv never came. I went to every motion hearing.
Irv had yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm taking notes down, and then I'm talking to my lawyer about things. And he said, listen, what are we all here? This is the judge. He said, what are we all here for? We know these guys are guilty. And I just look at this man like I want to kill you right now. I want to rip your fucking head off right now. Like, how the fuck is my judge saying this and he doesn't even have all the evidence yet?
Right.
He said it. I want to get all the transcripts. I guarantee they never let us get them because I want it for the movie. And I wrote a note while I'm staring at the nigga. I'm just staring at him. I wrote a note to my lawyer and slide it to him. And he leans over and he says, we'll talk after it's over. So when it's over, he said, I can't believe this judge would say, this is a federal judge in the Southern District. He said, this is the best judge we're going to get.
Right. It only get worse than this.
He said this while court was like in process?
This is during motions.
Okay, during motions.
But again, this is motions before the trial started. He said, we know they're already guilty. What are we doing here? And
that's wild.
I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it, man. I wrote on the paper, is this grounds for an appeal? Right? And he was like, we don't want to go, to get rid of, I want to know if it's grounds for appeal and can we get rid of this judge?
Yeah, like what they call it.
He said, my lawyer said, this is the best and most fairest judge in the Southern District.
Yeah.
He says, I've known him. I went to school with him. He knows me.
Yeah.
He said, Chris, we will not get a better judge. I said, I'm fucked.
I need a laugh, but that's
20 years. Let me get right.
What we wasting our time for? He guilty. You like, yeah, this is fair. This is good.
And as sad as it is, again, when we talk about all of this black and white shit, this is fucking part of it. This is a big part of it because the law is got to be upheld. They just let that motherfucker off for killing everyone. What's his name? I'm forgetting, And I'm like, God damn, they just let him off. And a judge had to be like, we know he's good. Let him go. Let him live his life. He took 2 niggas and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's doing us a favor. This is what we dealing with.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy, man, and it's sad at the same time. And it's like, how do you get past or get it right? And it's really until these old fuckers get out of office. There needs to be a timeline on how long you can stay in. Honestly, I don't care. Even Biden, he's too old to be our president, man.
Well, yeah.
Again, he's too old. Same goes with Trump. They too old, man. Fuck that.
No, just doing a time check. Yeah, we got about 10 minutes. I want to make sure before we get out of here, we have to talk about
Good.
ADD Ventures.
Adventures, yeah. ADD is good because you know why? That's why I called it ADD because all artists have ADD. That was part of the reason I made ad like that and didn't do AD. I did ADD because all artists have what is that? Attention deficit disorder.
Right. We got a lot of different independent artists, music managers, stuff like that listen to our podcast, support
Holla
stuff
at
like
me
that.
then.
So
get on the
we want to make
platform.
sure that they know that we have a resource like this for them at their disposal.
Adventuremusic.com. And you go on, sign up, and be part of the membership. You know, I do distribution just like everyone else. I never knock other companies, but I could tell you differences.
Right.
And again, the difference is me, right? My mindset, my visibility. Good luck. I'm the CEO. Good luck talking to a CEO. I'm accessible. I have given out phone numbers to so many artists on my platform so they could actually text me, call me for information. And information is everything. So it's like, if I'm giving it away, this is 30 plus years of knowledge and experience. There's a real value there. You know, I just told someone, don't ask me to come and do individual meetings with people. I said, they could find me and get it for free because I'm going to charge you for my time. Don't do that. Get it for free.
Right.
Come out, experience, understand, take in what I'm talking, bring questions so you can see that, again, I'm not like these other platforms. My agenda is truly to empower you and help you. So with that knowledge that I have in the space, I have to also take consideration. You probably don't know what you need to know, and I do it for you.
Right.
And then I'll explain why I did it. Like, here's why. It's not to take I don't own anyone's music, right? And then I have a fee that is charged, but it's a minimum fee, and that's it. And the rest is yours. And, you know, it's not about me changing someone into a superstar. It's about me taking the masses and making them into a revenue stream that they'll pass on to their kids.
What was your inspiration to kind of stick with the music and create this company, this hub that helps independent artists, rather than just say, well, I'm going to LA with Irv and we just going to dominate TV?
I'm still in LA with Irv, but at the end of the day, like what he do, I do, and what I do, he do. So in the sense of we will always support each other.
Absolutely.
No matter what it is. But the time being spent here in Adventures is because, first of all, you know, you always want to have your own. I'm not like some I'm a brain.
For sure.
And I have relationships, so it's not like I'm sitting there just on Earth coattails hoping that he do something so I could get something. I'm never that nigga. So at the end of the day, I seen a vision of what is needed in the space. Again, I'm 6 years in with Adventures, but Adventures was actually created in 2007. Let that sink in.
Right.
2007, it wasn't time to come to the world. Timing is the number one reason all businesses are successful.
And we say that shit driving up here?
Yep.
Yeah.
So timing wasn't right to come out in 2007. In 2015, it was right. I'm still ahead of most of these other platforms.
For sure.
They just now started.
Right.
I'm in front of them. But I could also say they probably started because of me. Because they seen, oh man, what's Chris doing? In music history, they always followed me and my brother with our moves.
With this particular type of a company, I definitely saw you doing it first.
Yeah.
And then shortly thereafter, you see a company, United Masters, come. That I'm
Shout out Steve Stout.
Shout out Steve Stout. He's a big dog. He gets shit
Big
done.
dog.
And you,
I need more insurance, Steve.
you see there, you know, I don't know if it's that Steve made it more amenable to, you know, to growth or what have you.
If I told you when I first did my business plan in 2007, the first name on my business plan, it wasn't called Adventures in 2007. It was called Who Cares Music Group. Because I care. It was a double entendre, like the question and the answer.
Who cares? I care.
I care, right? And the reason it was called that is because I want to empower these artists. I seen the artists how they got raped and pillaged. Remember I said you come in my office,
Got the sign up.
it was all over rape and pillage, and it wasn't me trying to rape and pillage everybody. It was me protecting myself from the rape and pillage to keep my mindset. And that's what made me see it. I seen when we would go and negotiate Ja's contract or Ashanti's contract, which we did for our artists.
Yeah.
They didn't have their lawyers negotiate the deal. Let that sink in too. Like, tell me what label allowed the label owner negotiate your contract for you.
Right.
With them.
Right.
Like I'm negotiating against myself, and Universal hated that.
Right. For Ja.
For Ja.
Yeah.
And they would tell us, fuck the artist. Okay?
Damn.
No bullshit. They were like, fuck Ja Rule. Go get another artist and watch him take that shitty deal we got on the table. You're giving them too much. You're taking the money from us. It's our money. You want to? I said, yeah, we could all make money. Irv was like, no, we're not doing that. We could all eat. We don't need to do this. So it was
And
the
they like, when you
mindset.
say all, like, what do you mean all? Yeah, who's included in the
Black ass
all?
mean all.
Because when we say all, we mean us.
Yeah, I am all. But that was the reality, you know what I mean?
What do
And
you
that's
mean
what that was what we did. So again, it's a natural, maceration to come from that
For sure.
mindset. And then you take in technology. It was the time, like, when is the right time to let slaves go? When was that? When is the right time to let artists go?
Right.
And stop robbing and stealing and just
Right.
empower them and make money with them in that capacity. And that was my mind. That's what my business said to do. And it's just a matter of time before I take over this industry in that capacity.
For those that are unaware, talk about some of the scope of services of things that you provide, just from like a high level that,
Well,
you know, why an artist should fuck with you.
Well, first and foremost is digital marketing. To me is one of the biggest things that artists do today. We don't, if we go back in time, we used to have to, if I wanted people to know it in LA, I had to either physically go to LA or send tons of print ads or things to put in LA, but billboards, and that's how you got it today. That same billboard is digital and it costs you pennies to do, like overnight, like that easy digitally, and that's what you need to do. Even this podcast, if you're not marketing digitally, like I could do that service for you guys, it's no different than a record. And it's like I have the right digital marketing team and people that do it for the highest people at the highest level. So it's like they do it, they know it, they understand it, and it's just a matter of setting it up and going and being consistent with it. That's all labels do. They're consistent with that push.
Yeah, they keep their foot on the gas.
Yeah, so
keep pushing the ball up the hill.
and again, you got to also remember when you don't have the right product to get off the gas and get onto something else. So, that goes for a bit, again, a podcast. If the podcast is not speaking to the audience and it's not growing, you have to make an adjustment.
Got to pivot.
Same with an artist, with label, with music. Yeah. So when you start putting all these things together, all of these are services that could be done. When you say high level, it's really, I go from soup to nuts. It doesn't matter what it is. I could get it done. I don't do it physically. I have someone that I vetted out that I know is credible, reputable, that could do that service. And they do it at a very well at the most affordable price.
Right.
So I'm getting you. Our independent artists are probably the most raped and pillaged artists today,
bar none.
Okay, so I'm helping you.
Charge
so
people. They charge them for everything.
So I vet out any of my services, vetted out, and they do what exactly it's supposed to do. Whatever it says it's going to do, it does it. So now you're paying for, and you know exactly what you're getting. To me, that's so important because most artists don't know what that is. They just know they need it, and they don't know. But now you come here to Adventure Music, and you're getting exactly what you want.
Absolutely.
And then that to me is everything because that saves you the time and you can spend your time somewhere else, which is making music, relevant music. That's the hardest job.
And for artists that's trying to get in contact with you, trying to get in contact with Adventures Music, what do they got to do again?
Ooh, ooh. And I come running. No, all you got to do is go to adventuremusic.com and sign up, or you could go to my gram, Chris Gotti 187. Hit DM me again. Someone will get back to you if it's not me. I don't want to act like I do it all in my Instagram. I do not, but I have reports for everything every day. So if someone's hitting me and it means and it's right, cool. Just remember, I don't have time to answer 1,000 people every day. I would never get nothing done.
So the best way is go to the website.
The website is good. You're going to be, again, there's a place to ask a question, the email, we get right back to you. It's real people. These are not bots. These are not automated responses. Everything will be original and real from a person inside of my staff, if not myself. I answer people too. I don't want to tell you I have an alias, but I won't tell you on that.
Tell us off camera.
Yeah, I answer to a lot of people. So if they see that, come back, it's really me.
Gotcha.
Because I want to be hands-on. I don't want to not know. And it sounds something simple, but that's my people. So I want to know what my people want and what they feel and everything. And that's part of what I want to do with it. Yeah.
For sure. I think that's a perfect way to button this up, man. We appreciate you.
Man, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate the fuck out.
We appreciate the fuck out of you, man. This is magic, man. And we got to do a part 2.
Yeah, when
Thank Vicky.
whenever you ready.
Thank Vicky, the gangster, the OG.
For sure.
Thank you, Vicky.
It's the realest podcast ever, episode 179. It's your boy C. Diddy, live from WTF Studios in New York.
Should have been 187. Damn, we off. Maybe you have to hold it. Yeah, that'll be fire, yo.
That'd be
always
crazy.
thinking about the
That'll be fire. Damn, I'm a few off, man. Damn.
We out of here.
Peace.
One.